This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are well off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Josh Ratcliffe joins me in having what I think will be an epic discussion about two awesome films, Pulp Fiction and Punch-Drunk Love. Welcome!
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. You know, the weather's getting better. I didn't get trapped on the subway. Everything's good.
Yeah, I haven't been here since the Christmas episode.
Oh, that's true. It's been a little while.
I'm just a non-winter guest.
Yes. Yes, we trap you inside in the summer months so you can like sweat out all of your movie knowledge.
That's a very good strategy to get me to start sweating.
Yeah.
To be fair, there also isn't a bad one.
Yeah, that's true. You know, me too. I usually do end up sitting here like halfway through going like, oh my God, am I shiny? Oh, what's happening? Oh, yeah. Yes. It's okay. Oh, people can't see that. I'm patting my face.
To an audio-only podcast record.
You're right. I love it when I do actions and I'm like, oh no, nobody can see this. Well, you can see it, but nobody after this can see this. It's fine.
Oh yeah, I specifically made a joke of my Zoom background that is not visible to anybody but you.
Yes. Quentin and Tarantino did by written Directonio. Yeah, sure. I did not read that correctly, but you're going to send me that, and I'm going to post it. And I'm just going to write, this is what I pretended to read. I just made sounds. It's fun. It's okay.
Visual jokes for only one person.
It's a good visual joke. Yep. I get it. I think once people read the show notes and they see the picture, they're going to get it. And they're going to be like, you know, that Josh guy? Hilarious.
Needs footnotes.
Oh, yes. So I brought you back for more Tarantino discussions.
Right. I am the expert on Mr. Tarantino.
Yes. We don't need to bring up the foot fetish again.
What?
Of course it's there.
Uh-oh. I need to delete all of my notes.
Wait, I thought you said you didn't have that many notes.
I didn't have that many notes, but they're mostly foot related.
Okay. Yep. Okay, fine. We'll bring back the foot fetish. It'll be okay.
I actually have an interesting point about the foot stuff in this one. I really do.
I really thought this was going to come later, but this is my fault. So now I have to ask you, what is it?
So, this one, it weirdly like justifies the foot stuff. Because it has that long story about the foot massage and what's his name? Tony Rocky Horror.
Oh, yes.
And so like when he has the glory shots with Uwa's feet, it's already established that she is the foot person. So now we're establishing that the person that we're seeing is the one we heard the story about.
Gotcha. Okay,
so it actually makes sense from a characterization point of view.
Yeah. Compared to all of the other movies we've seen where it was just like, look at these feet. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Ooh, these soles are dirty.
Well, I guess except for in Kill Bill, where she's all paralyzed from the waist down, and they're like, yep. I need to do something simple, wiggle your big toe. So we see feet.
Well, and it foreshadows the steps thing because Bill's final moments are him taking the 5 steps and then dying. So like, there's a lot of feet walking as well.
And how she like crushes L Driver's eye. Yeah, between her toes as well. Yep. Yes.
Yeah, that one is the most fetishistic, gross thing. Yeah, it's like if she needs to step on a can of baked beans and just like egg yolks, just like.
But isn't there like a whole like scene with that, like crushing things with like your feet or your hands and just being like, I'm a mess?
Yeah, no, I learned about that from HBO's Real Sex 24.
Okay. Yes.
When I was 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's one of the best descriptions I've had of like ever heard of that? It was just like that's just a show with old people touching dildos, and you're like, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. It taught me to be accepting of all people.
I know, but the thing is, sometimes you're sitting there going like, but why? But by the end of it, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's that. I mean, it is something that's. I think it's interesting because we're trying to be accepting of people's kinks and things like that. And I think that show was actually pretty good at for a generation to go like, oh yeah, I saw that on TV like 20 years ago. Yeah, that doesn't shock me very much.
Yeah, it's
Like
nothing
foot
new.
stuff
Whatever.
is just like that's nothing. I don't care about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, personally, like, no, no, like I don't get it. But like, if you like it, I don't care. Again,
Oh
because
yeah,
of
I
the
mean
TV
it's
thing.
like I get it because I like stuff too. Like
Yeah,
some people like stuff, so
and that's it.
everyone has a thing they like. Fair
Mm-hmm.
enough.
And I guess like most sane people, I don't care if you like it as long as you're not it's consensual and you're not actively hurting somebody else. That's it.
Yeah, and like the foot stuff specifically, it seems completely innocent. Because
The
I think I've made this point before. It's just
Yeah,
like it's just feet. He just likes
exactly.
the look of feet.
I'm gonna tell you this, the greatest thing I ever saw was there was this whole thing about putting furniture into sexual positions. And it was just like a chair on top of a chair and an angle and stuff like that. And I was just like, at first I was just like, what? But then when it's described to you and they show you like a picture, you're like, oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
But that
like
was the
that idea.
greatest.
That sounds like some great art.
Exactly.
Wait,
Oh
they got
god.
a fainting couch doing what now?
As soon as we finish doing this recording, you'd be like, where's that chair? Do I have a
Yeah,
painting couch?
I need to get on Reddit real quick.
Where's that ottoman? Need it. Okay, this has turned into a weird fetish tangent, which was totally my fault. I get it. I get it.
Feet.
But yes. So Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, as the resident Quentin Tarantino guy, obviously I have quite an experience with Pulp Fiction. I think I saw it for the first time when I was about 14, which not appropriate for a 14-year-old. It didn't I didn't love it at first. I was more of a Reservoir Dogs kid, which is an odd sentence to say, but yes.
Yeah.
As a child, I more appreciated Reservoir Dogs. I think mostly because of the GIMP. The GIMP is a hurdle to get over as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Um, here's a funny story tangent. My brother saw this movie when he was 13 when it came out, and my mom took him to it because he needed to have an adult there because it was like a 18 and over.
Sorry,
only.
She took him to the theater to watch it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Him
okay.
and a friend.
Mhm.
She did not enjoy it. She did not have a good time.
Okay.
Including when the usher came in to make sure that nobody was unaccompanied, which I'd never heard of before.
Yeah.
Apparently this movie was so rough.
Few movies, yeah. There's a few movies that are like that where they're like, no. You need to understand. Like somebody needs to sign off on you coming in here. But I actually think now with a lot of R-rated movies and stuff, it's not even like parental guidance. It's just like, no, if you're under 18, you're not getting into this movie.
Yeah, I mean that's a Canada and Ontario thing mostly. I mean, in the States it would be NC-17, which is a pretty rare rating unless you show a penis. If you show a penis, you're probably getting an NC-17. But
yeah,
it's the rule. I don't control it.
So, like
a bunch of priests come up with it or whatever.
The funniest thing is that as soon as you said that, I'm like, wait, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is an NC-17 movie? What?
He's not. The penis isn't doing anything in that one. The penis isn't doing anything. It's allowed to be there. If there's a verb associated with the penis, it gets an NC-17. These are all written down somewhere, I'm sure.
Flapping.
No. Flapping off screen. We could only hear the sound of it flapping.
Really?
Yep.
Oh god, now I'm gonna have to rewatch this just to figure this part out. Oh my god. Yeah.
That's just a regular R rating.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a whole movie about like when things get that. It's a lot of stuff with like if it's a movie about lesbianism or gay people, that usually gets an NC-17 too. But yeah, no, usually the full frontal nudity stuff is usually what gets you.
Wait, you said there was it? Hold on. You said there was a movie about this. And is it like that documentary movie where this person decided they're going to be like one of the ratings people? And then they realized, they're like, I didn't know I'd be watching this much porn. Because like 90% of it is apparently porn they're watching.
Yes,
And
I don't think it's that movie. That sounds cool though.
no,
But
they hated it so
oh
much.
no, I'm sure they would.
So
I'm sure
much.
it's terrible. It's a terrible job. I mean, that sounds like a cool movie to see. I'm
well, it's
thinking
a
of the movie.
documentary of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about a movie called This Film's Not Yet Rated.
Okay.
And it's just about like the secrecy around the MPAA and sort of like how that kind of stuff works. Movies that get rated that tend to bomb because theaters don't allow them to play them. And yeah, they kind of found out that like a lot of it is like a lot of the people on this secret board is mostly like affiliated with like churches and like those kind of groups.
Yes.
So it sort of has that kind of puritanical bend to it in general. But yeah, it tends to be kind of a tool for censorship. It doesn't happen like here we're a little more lax. I don't know if there's as much that'll get like outright pretty much banned. But we do, but like if it's rated R here, then you can't be under 18 to go. But 18A means you can be accompanied by an adult.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's not that many that are rated R. I think Kill Bill 1 was rated R, and like Fargo is rated R. Like it's kind of funny the ones that you hear. But this one must have been Fargo is rated R, yeah, in Canada for some reason. It's pretty violent.
I'm not saying no, but I'm trying to think of, because we are allowed to show a lot of violence on TV. Like they show John Wick on TV pretty regularly. And the thing that often gets a lot of movies moved from like before 9 p.m. to after 9 p.m. showing is really the swearing. It's not the violence. But it does depend on how graphic the violence is, I suppose. Yeah. But like, you have a movie like John Wick, which I love. I'm not hating on it, but it's a bunch of people getting shot in the face. And you would think, maybe that should have like a pretty heavy rating on it. But, they're allowed to show it whenever.
I would agree that I think that violence should be rated a lot harder than sex is, and it's usually the opposite.
In North America.
But I think for Fargo specifically, it's his partner there in the wood chipper.
Oh, yes.
That's probably the offending scene that would cause that.
Typically, you don't see anything. It's just a little splatter on one side and feet on the other. It's shooting out
ephemera with a foot on the other end.
You don't see him like put him in it. Like
just the pieces of him. It's fine. It's just the dismembered pieces of that guy that we've seen the whole movie.
Yeah. Well, the thing, so I do not remember the name of this documentary that I saw. Yeah. But like one of the things that they were going on about was like you have to really pay attention to the movie no matter how bad it is. But you really just get like a checklist, like a driving test. And check if this happens, check if this happens. And if there's too many checks, that's when it goes from here to here. And then it's when it goes from here to here. So, I mean, I guess at some point in time, a lot of these movies don't get enough check marks. And they're just like, meh.
Yep. Yeah. Wood chipper, big check mark. It's got a wood chipper in it.
That's just one of the boxes.
So that was my history with the movie was that I know that my brother loved it. As a 13-year-old, and my mom did not appreciate it. So I waited until I was 13 or 14 to see it. Yeah. Didn't love it at first, but I've come to enjoy it a lot more as I've aged.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first Quentin Tarantino movie I ever saw. I didn't know Reservoir Dogs or anything. And the funny thing is as a latchkey kid, I saw this around 14 as well. And me and my brother came home, and his friend came over, and he's like, I got a tape. You want to watch it? And they're like, this movie Pulp Fiction is so cool. And I'm like, okay. So we put it in, we sat there and watched it, and we're like watching it. And our parents came home before the last scene at the end at the coffee shop. And for like 6 or 7 years, not for any particular reason. This was not when streaming was easy and I didn't have any money to buy my own DVDs yet and all this kind of stuff. Never knew what the end of the movie was. And then finally got around to it, and then boom, I was like, oh. I thought I was like, there was tons more. Didn't realize there was just like 10 minutes left. And then at the end, I was just like, oh, now it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, they were all a bunch of Fonzies.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
You know what that means? That's in the final scene where he says, we're all going to be cool. What's Fonzie?
Oh.
Cool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be a bunch of Fonzies over here. Yeah.
Yes. You don't want to be the coffee shop, though.
I have one other teenage story revolved around this movie. I was at a party when I was about 15 years old, and me and another dork were hanging out in the basement of this party, and everyone else was like running around doing stuff outside. And we're just like, and I know this because he made a comic strip based on this conversation that we had.
Oh.
And he goes, "Where is everybody?" And I say, "Oh, I think they're all just outside and having fun, enjoying themselves." And then I go, "Do you want to watch Pulp Fiction?" And he goes, "Yes."
Is that the story? That's the whole story.
That's a true story.
That's a good story. I like it.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much my superhero origin story, if anything. Everyone else having fun at the party? Want to watch Pulp Fiction? Yes, I do.
I mean, the weird thing is, like, I'm surprised you saw Reservoir Dogs before you saw Pulp Fiction. That just seems weird to me because Pulp Fiction was just like his movie for a while. And Reservoir Dogs was just like, well, if you know about Pulp Fiction and you're like really into this stuff, you would have heard of Reservoir Dogs, and then you would have watched Reservoir Dogs. Because it took me like 4 movies in. I saw Reservoir Dogs after Kill Bill and stuff, I think. Before I saw
that. I'm not exactly sure which one I saw first. I mean, I'd heard of Pulp Fiction first. But I mean, there's a good 10 years between me hearing about it and seeing it, because I was 6 when it came out. So not that cool of a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
But
so sad.
I know, right? Just what a loser. But my recollection of when I was like 14 or 15 or whatever was that I appreciated Reservoir Dogs more. I think it's a bit more straightforward of a movie too.
Yes.
And a little bit easier to understand. I think I kind of didn't get the appeal of Pulp Fiction until later, until I had seen 17,000 other movies. And then I go, oh, I get it. Okay.
Well, because I think Reservoir Dogs is very specific. It's like these people rob a bank. They're waiting. They're waiting for. Is it they rob a bank? Oh my god, I haven't seen it in a while.
It's a jewelry store, I think.
And they're all just waiting for the heat to cool down, and they all kind of go a little off. That's it. That's all it is, right? Whereas this movie, you're just like, because it's not like in order. You get about halfway through when you start putting it in order, it jumps back. And then there's no real overarching point to the movie. It's just like some stuff happened, guys. It's kind of bloody and it's kind of funny and it's kind of weird, kind of fun. Guy had a watch in his ass. It's fine.
It has one of my favorite lines of all of cinema in it, which is, "Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face." Because he says it so casually. It's like, oh fuck, I shot Marvin in the face.
I think he just shoots people pretty regularly. So to him, it's not a big deal. But he's like, this is the time. He's like, it's like dropping like a glass on the floor and seeing spilled milk. You're like, I've dropped glasses before. I've seen spilled milk before. But like this cup was like your mom's favorite cup, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah. It makes me laugh every time, in a very specific way. Exactly the same way every time.
I'm always like weirded out that I'm like, they're back in the car. The last time their guns were all in the trunk. Why? And he's with his friends and they're away. Why does he still have the gun in the front seat in the first place? And also, why would you be holding your gun with your finger on the trigger? It just doesn't make any sense.
Obviously. You can punctuate your sentence so well by holding your gun up.
That is true.
Yeah, you command the room.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I think I would I? No, I think my brain would just empty if somebody was just like, I'm pointing a gun at you. I'd be like the guy going, what? What? Say what again? I would keep saying what? I would be dead because I would have no idea what you were saying.
Oh, that guy is probably the most relatable character in the movie.
He really is.
But just hey, I just wanted you guys to know I didn't want this to get all fucked up. But it's real fucked up. I get that completely.
Yeah.
Oh, we really screwed up. And I eat hamburgers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
hamburgers are delicious.
2 check boxes for that, dude. That burger looked so good.
Really did. Yeah. Look, it looked like a perfect, like, greasy spoon, like, cheeseburger as well.
It's like the pizza in Back to the Future 2, where it's just like, oh my god, this looks so good.
No, that pizza looked disgusting.
What?
It looked because it looked so fake, like it looked unreal. It was like the pizza was in the uncanny valley.
Okay, what about the pizza from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
The cartoon or the movie?
Movie.
In the second movie, yeah, where the Asian guy comes in and he brings in the pizza, and they have like the big New York style pizza, and the like slices are like flopping over, and like some of the cheese falls off. Oh yeah, the cheese, so good.
The cheese running off. There you go. That's my edit out my first response.
Okay. Yes. I love good movie food because like sometimes you watch some of those ads or like even in like movies and they show food and it's just so clearly not being eaten and it's there to quote unquote look pretty that you're just like, that looks wrong. I get why you're not eating this. Okay, thanks.
I don't think I saw the movie Spanglish, but he makes a sandwich in the trailer for that movie that looked so good.
Oh, I've seen Spanglish.
It had a fried egg inside.
I haven't seen it in a long time though. There's that Jon Favreau movie where he has a food truck and they cook throughout the whole movie. It is called Chef, right? Okay. And movie is great and makes me hungry every time. Every single time.
I think I saw that and then I made Hawaiian bread just based on them referencing it. I think I made Hawaiian bread from scratch.
Yeah.
It was only okay.
What? Why was it only okay?
Anytime I make bread, it comes out too dense. I think I over knead dough.
What are the things? Like, did you let it rise enough? I think.
Yeah, but you have to like after you make something rise, you have to knead it like a little bit, but not too much. And I think I always do it too much and pops all the bubbles.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't come out light and fluffy. See, I need to get better at bread.
This is my problem with baking in general. It's too specific, and I hate following instructions. This is why I just like randomly cooking.
But I suck at science.
Okay, that makes sense when it comes to cooking. Yes, it does.
So I'm pretty good at like that looks good. I can get it to look right.
Yeah, that's what.
Beyond that,
that's what I do with cooking.
Oh.
That's what I do with cooking.
But that gets you through it most of the time. Exactly. If it looks right in cooking, you're pretty much solid. Like you're just like that doesn't look right. Yeah. And then you fix it and you're like, that's right. And it's good.
And then you're set. You're like, that's wrong. Put a little more. Yeah, there we go. Just keep going. You're good.
But with baking, it'd be like, okay, so this is pitch black and doughy in the middle. What the hell happened? Like it could be like this looks completely wrong one direction and it's completely right another way or whatever.
Yeah. That's when you realize you use baking powder instead of baking soda.
Yeah. I don't really know the difference between those two.
They're kind of
I know that there are different
thing.
I know that they do different things.
Yes. But also you can technically have the same effect as I always make them mixed up, but you can have the same effect as one by using 3 times of the other one, but don't ask me which way that goes.
Yep, this sounds like a science thing and I'm already lost.
You're like,
this sounds like science. Nope.
Don't like it. Don't like it. Yes.
When I was in Paris, I took a picture of the beer tap. I honestly did.
You're supposed to go into McDonald's and take a picture of the sign where it says Royale with cheese and prove them either right or wrong.
I think I did that too.
Okay, good.
I think there is. I don't think there was. I don't know if it said Royale with cheese, but I think I did see the Royale and the beer tap was also there. So
nice.
Yeah.
The thing that always like every time I hear the story in Pulp Fiction about like the burger and stuff, and they get to the part with the quarter pounder with cheese, and you know, because they can't call it that because of like the metric system. I always think back to like, I think it's like Burger King or something when they first came out with the quarter pounder. They Burger King was like, or was it Wendy's? They're like, oh, we're gonna sell a third pounder and we're gonna kill it because our burgers are bigger. But people are just like, no, that's smaller. It's 3 and this is 4.
Yeah.
You're like,
I think I do. I've heard that. That's insane. It's really funny.
You're like, and so then they failed miserably because nobody bought it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this is smaller. You're like, no.
That's right. We're coming out with a 6th pound burger. Oh my god.
People go nuts. They'd be like, this is amazing. But yeah, I just laugh at how dumb people can be sometimes, but it's okay. It also makes me think about how weird measurements in Canada are, how we like split between metric and imperial systems on a very regular basis. Because please don't tell me I'm like 126 centimeters tall. I don't know what that means.
No.
Okay. But if you tell me I gotta go like drive 20 kilometers, I'll be like, okay. That's I don't know why that works, but it does.
I cannot do Fahrenheit in the slightest either.
No, I can't do it either.
I can do, it's hot. It's like 100 degrees out here. That's pretty much as far as I could go in Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Or it's slightly less hot today. 85.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only thing I know for sure is whenever it hits minus 40 degrees in Canada, I'm like, I know what that is in Fahrenheit. It's great.
Yep.
And if you guys don't know, Fahrenheit and Celsius are the same at minus 40. Mm-hmm. So yay.
So that graphic where it looks like it drops 40 degrees when you go over the border doesn't apply to that one.
Exactly.
Yep.
Boom. Yes. It's due to mathematics.
At least it's not science. If it was science, I'd be lost.
Yeah, that's true.
Math, fine.
Science, molecules. You're just like, oh.
No, can't do it.
But equations, you're like, I get it. And fractions? Totally. God, show me a good hypotenuse. I'm on it.
Yeah. So right angle triangle.
See, we know stuff. It's fine.
It's mostly from the Wizard of Oz that I learned that, but okay.
Everybody listening be like, they're saying the wrong things. Do they know what they're talking about?
Well, he says the wrong thing in the Wizard of Oz. He gets it wrong.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I think I've only like the original Wizard of Oz movie. I think I've only ever seen it once, and I was like maybe 10.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since.
I watched it in school. I have watched it with Dark Side of the Moon playing. It's fine. Like, it's really.
You're like, all right.
Okay.
You got to go to one of those like laser shows where they play Dark Side of the Moon, and you're like,
I think you're missing an important element in this laser show.
That is true.
Super high.
Yes, you do. That is true.
Oh, they're playing Big Gig in the Sky as the house flies around.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's what the cool kids do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Don't do drugs.
That's my cool guy voice.
We're on drugs, so we've gone back to Pulp Fiction. Okay, good. Yep. Segue.
He does drugs.
So much drugs. There's quite a bit of drugs.
There's quite a bit of drugs.
Yeah. I was about to be like, no, there isn't. Just that one scene, but I'm like, that's like 20 minutes of drugs.
Yeah. How many stories are in this movie then? So we've got the Jules and Vince.
I think there's only like 3 stories overall.
Right. So like, are we counting the Jules and Vince stuff like up to the Bonnie situation as being one story? Like, because it gets a little weird because they sort of had 2 stories, 2 or 3, right?
Well, no. They had like their story is the beginning and the end. But first, I think you need to figure out how the story is shown. And to me, when I watch it, the movie, the story is told from the middle to the beginning, then the end, and then the middle again. Correct?
Yes.
So from that,
starts in the diner with the cold open.
Yes.
Jumps back to the very beginning, goes up to maybe a third of the way, jumps forward to, but not all the way forward, to like 3/4 of the way. Then goes to the end, and then goes back to the middle.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yes. That's how
I think there's
understand it.
Quarters. I would say there's quarters.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's 4 stories being told altogether. And the thing that irks me the most about this whole thing is that in the beginning of the movie, I'm gonna swear.
Uh-huh.
In the beginning of the movie, she says, "Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you." That's what she says.
Mhm.
And when they go back to that part at the end of starting in the last scene of the movie, she says, "Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute
Every last one of you motherfuckers.
Yes, that's what it is. I didn't rewrite the second one. I just wrote the first time. And it drives me nuts.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Drives me
It is
crazy.
something that I know is on purpose, though.
Because that's the thing. Like, Tarantino is very specific.
Yeah.
But is this because this is being remembered by 2 different people?
I have no idea. I've seen this movie 25 times or whatever, and I truly don't understand why that is. But I mean, I know it's on purpose because like Sally Menke, who directed this, who edited this movie, must have watched it 18,000 times.
Yes.
So like she knows, and like that line at the beginning is on the soundtrack to the movie.
It is.
So like that's why I know that first line so well, and then the second line is not, and it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't really know why that is, and I don't. But I think it's cool, kind of. Like it's sort of just like, but why?
Yeah.
Like it's just an odd. It's a very odd choice.
Yeah, it pokes a nerve on me every time I hear it. And it's like I'm prepared for it because the movie started and I heard the line. I was like, "Oh, it's gonna happen at the end." It was my first thought, and then it started, and the last scene starts, and she says it. I'm just like, "Oh fuck! Oh yeah! Oh shit!" Like it was just no. It makes me so angry, but that also might be the point.
Is Garçon means boy? Is that repeated at the end as well, or is that line skipped in the end?
It's well, we don't hear it.
You don't hear it in the end. Okay.
Oh no, we hear
it twice.
We hear garçon coffee. We hear that. Yeah. And then they get up after that. Yeah.
But she doesn't say garçon means boy in the second time around.
Well, you have to realize you also don't hear them talking because the parts that you hear is them when they're yelling. They're across the restaurant from them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know why they don't do the full repetition. They do it. They do an incorrect mirror. So I don't really know why that is. It's neat. It makes me think. It keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, but this is the reason why I think it is being remembered from 2 different points of view. So it could actually be 5 stories because at the beginning it is being remembered by Honey Bun and whatever.
Pumpkin.
And Pumpkin. And then at the end, it's not Vincent.
Jules
is remembering
Jules' memory of it. Okay.
Of it, yes. So that's the only thing in this watching, my 85th watching of this movie, this is the only thing that I can come up with that would make those 2 things different and purposefully different.
Yeah. No, I mean I could see that. I mean, there are books that are written chapter wise and from different people's perspectives, right? So maybe it has that kind of format to it.
Yeah.
I think isn't Game of Thrones written that way, where each chapter is its own, each character is its own.
Each chapter is a person doing something. So each chapter is it's not 1, 2, or 3 or this happens, whatever. It's Bran, it's Rickon, it's Arya, it's whatever. Is each chapter.
Yeah. So maybe it's a similar thing. I mean, he does like novels and pulp novels specifically, and this one is it's a pulp fiction novel, this movie, right? So it's sort of like...
Oh my God, it could be something that simple. Pulp Fiction is cheesy fiction. That's technically it's crazy stories, but they're usually not that well written. So it could just be reference to mistakes that are regularly made within Pulp Fiction novels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It took me this long to what? Oh my God. Okay. Never mind.
No, I mean, fine. But it makes you think about it. I mean, at the very least, it makes you I don't think it's a mistake because it's such an obvious mistake that that it has to be on purpose. No, I don't know. Could be that. That sounds. I mean, that sounds as reasonable of an excuse as any.
Yes, I hope so.
So on my 85,000th watch of this, I picked up on the kind of the theme of luck versus fate. That's sort of the striking between the kind of the two stuff, right? So like the Jules and Vincent sort of represent both of those, where Vincent is like everything is chaos and Jules thinks that there's a plan to all this and there's a reason why things are happening.
Okay.
But like the
So
Butch story, yeah,
sorry. So Jules is fate and Vincent is luck.
yeah.
Okay.
Or that's sort of their perspectives on it, right?
Okay.
Like I shot Marvin in the face. What a crazy thing that happened. I guess I screwed up. Whoops. And meanwhile, Jules is going on about acts of God and miracles and all that kind of stuff. But also, like, if you look at the Butch story, like so much of that is around luck, right? He fixes a fight, so he gets rid of the luck in that one. He then what else happens? He runs into Ving Rhames, Marcellus Wallace on the street. That's just by luck. They happen to go into the worst pawn shop in the world just by luck. There's a shamrock on the wall in there, by the way.
Okay.
Just kind of stuff like that. And just like lots of coincidences happening, which may or may not be on purpose, right? Like that's sort of so that was sort of what I picked up this time. Just a lot of that kind of thematic stuff.
Well, I mean, kind of on that same note, I was kind of thinking more along the lines of people taking control and, actively doing something about their life, whereas other people let stuff happen to them. You know what I mean? And so, like, Vincent is very much like, yeah, what happens, blah, 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 where Jules finally realized he's like, no, I don't want to just let things happen. I'm going to do something. Even though he's going to go be a bum or whatever you want to call it.
He's going to walk the earth like Kane from Kung Fu.
Yeah. Which also, there's like several parts in this. I'm just like, that's right. When they were making this movie, him and Uma came up with the idea for Kill Bill. And there's little droplets in this whole movie,
Yeah. The Fox Force 5.
Fox Force 5. There's the samurai sword, which could be the reference to the Hattori Hanzo sword that Bud apparently hawked, but didn't, obviously. Right. And then, of course, with Kung Fu and, David Carradine played Kane. And
yep. No, that's a really fun one. I really like that specific coincidence that it's like, oh yeah, Kane from Kung Fu. He's the bad guy in the movie that they're kind of coming up with in the movie.
I bet you they like actively went after him for that part because he'd been out of the spotlight and doing almost nothing for many years, or been doing like F-level movies in back rooms somewhere. And then out of nowhere, they're like, David Carradine's going to be in my big, very expensive movie, and you're just like, but why?
Well, that was sort of Quentin Tarantino's thing for a while, right? Like the big story with this movie was John Travolta. Like he came out of unnotoriety, right? Like pulled him out of it. He did Pam Grier for Jackie Brown, and she had been sort of on the rocks for a while. And Kill Bill was David Carradine. So.
Yeah, but I also think like the reference in this movie, it goes back to what he grew up watching as a kid. So when he's writing these parts, he's like, nah, I want to do Jackie Brown because I saw that Pam Grier movie and blah, 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 blah. And that's what he wrote, I'm going to do this weird Kung Fu thing, but we're gonna have David Carradine in it. I watched John Travolta dance, and there's a dance scene in my thing, and he's gonna do the twist. I'm gonna get John Travolta. Like I feel like he just went back to the stuff that he watched or he was entertained by growing up, and was like, I'm writing this for these specific people, and I'm gonna make my dream come true of having them in one of my movies. Is what I feel like happened.
Yeah, he's really living his best 16-year-old's life.
He really is.
Like, I mean, I find that to be very charming in a way. It's just like, no, that dude made a plan in 1978.
Yeah.
That he was going to do something, and then he did it.
Yeah.
He did the exact thing. He didn't change a detail. He's like, then I'll make a one with cars where there's a lady on the hood of the car the whole time. And we're really scared.
Yes. I love that movie. I don't know why he hates it so much, but I love that movie.
I think it was just a big flop. It just didn't do well, and they sort of disowned it. But no, I love it too.
No, but he doesn't hate Planet Terror.
Yeah.
He's fine with Planet Terror. He thinks the worst thing he's ever made was Death Proof. And I'm like, you are fucking crazy. Whatever.
It has so many feet in it, man.
All over the place. God. One even like flew out of a window attached to a leg. Like,
Yeah, no, that is that's
it's brutal.
It's brutal. It's really rough.
So brutal. God. But yeah, no, he's just out there living his dream, and his head's gotten surprisingly bigger, and now he's just doing other things. And I think he said he's going to make one more movie, even though he said the last movie he made was going to be his last movie, but now he's going to make one more movie. So
yeah, no, it's called The Film Critic.
I
believe is his supposed to be his last movie. I don't think that's gonna. I think it's gonna be a Steven Soderbergh retirement.
Yeah,
where it's like, I'm never gonna make a movie again. Anyway, see, The Good German comes out next week, and, and then he'll just like shoot The Nick or whatever, and then he'll like ghost direct something, and then he'll just start directing again.
Yeah, and that's probably what's gonna happen. He seems to be the kind of person who's so obsessed with movies that he's gonna like watch some movies and he'd be like, all of this is shit. I gotta put like good things in the theater and like get out there and make, or he's gonna be trying to relax at a pool somewhere and just come up with like a crazy idea, and he's like, this needs to be made and put it out there. It's a thing that's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, it'll be like James Franco wins an Oscar and he's like, I need to not have that happen, and I'm just gonna make it's like, nope, can't have that. Although he probably is fine with James Franco.
Oh,
I was just trying to think of an annoying person.
He'd probably have James Franco in one of his movies doing something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's got that James Dean look to him, right? Because he played James Dean, so he probably likes him just for his weird Andy Warhol-ness of it.
Yeah. Ugh, Andy Warhol. Ugh. Anyway, I have thoughts, but it's
strong opinions on Andy Warhol.
It's fine. Some of the stuff he made is pretty. Most of it's really ugly, and he seemed like a very ugly person. So.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He was just a weirdo. But,
no, I think
that Velvet Underground album's pretty awesome. So.
I think I'm okay with weirdos. It's the type of weirdo that he was.
Oh, a creep weirdo.
Like, oh, yes, a creep weirdo. Yes, yeah, it's very different. Very, very different.
Well, you mean this isn't an adequate voice for a regular person to have? I'm from Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna say one of the stupidest things, but in Men in Black 3, when they go back in time and they find out Andy Warhol is actually like a Men in Black agent or whatever, and he just starts who plays it? It's the guy who plays Barry. Why are names just running out of my head today?
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader plays him, and he starts he's trying to keep his cover as people are trying to like talk to them, and he starts yelling things. He's like, I'm filming this woman eat a hamburger. It's transcendent. Yeah, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Like, he says a whole bunch of ridiculous and nonsense that you're just like, this can't be real. But I'm like, no, there's evidence out there. That shit is real. So, and I just thought it was amazing that they actually like included that real stuff in it.
Well, doesn't he go out of character as well? Doesn't he like take them aside to like, oh my God, thank you guys so much for getting me out of there. I cannot be weird enough to alienate these people.
Well, yeah, he's freaked out about it, and then he's like, can you kill me or something, like fake my death or blah blah blah. Get me out. I can't do this anymore. He's like, they've got me painting soup cans and bananas. Like, yes.
And I like Andy Warhol, so I'm not even being too mean or anything. I really do dig. I'm like, 4-hour shot of the Empire State Building, amazing.
Fucking waste of time. Waste.
Oh, you're 100% correct, but
time.
I think that there is an artistry in wasting everyone's time.
Yeah, but
like Monty Python sketch.
Okay. You can't compare it to Monty Python, because to be honest, Monty Python is fucking hilarious. And yes, a lot of guys are just like, girls don't understand Monty Python. Monty Python is fucking genius. So the fact that you're comparing the two hurts my feelings a bit. So
it's just a waste of everyone's time. It's like in this sketch, a man slaps another man with a fish. Brilliant.
And it's really funny.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I think it's funny that he sold a painting of a can of soup.
Yeah. But there is something very pretty about the vibrant colors of it. I'm not going to deny that fact. But the thing is, of his body of work, there are so few things in it that are actually good and pleasant and interesting and noteworthy, where the other stuff you're just like, oh, you're like a 2-year-old doodling in a backyard. Like, I don't, what?
Well, I
And
mean,
I know this
yeah.
is the point of art, is to get people discussing it and blah 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 and what is art and all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, a lot of it is just so uninspired and uninteresting and a waste of, like I said, a waste of my time, and it
Well,
frustrates me.
I'm gonna turn this thingy around right now. And I'm gonna say, like, I think that there's a lot in common between Quentin Tarantino and Andy Warhol. They're both using pop as a form of art, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're taking things that already exist, like the soup can, the was it Brillo boxes, the soap
Yeah.
boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and like the just that kind of stuff, like stuff that we've already seen, and he's reframing it in a way that we're seeing in a different way. And so that is sort of the thing. I think what I admire about Andy Warhol, I think, is that he appreciates industrial design in like advertising and things like that. Like there's an artistry in that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that if like that soup can is very well designed. Like from like whoever did it originally.
Yeah.
But I mean he kind of stole it and repackaged it, which is sort of what Quentin Tarantino does. He takes like tropes from movies from the 1970s, and repackages them. Sometimes keeps racial slurs in there, and
A
then
lot of them in there,
there's so
yes.
many more than I remembered. Oh
No.
my god!
And it's so liberally used, just like
Yeah,
sprinkled here and sprinkled
I
there,
really can't.
and also everybody's using it. And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I think that's what it
everybody.
is how many people use racial slurs in this movie. Anyway, but like he repackages them and then it's high art again, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I view Quentin Tarantino as being a very artful director.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same kind of thing. Like it's a pastiche. And it's what's the postmodern stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sort of all in the same kind of stuff. This was the stuff I was really into when I was a teenager. So,
I mean,
yeah.
I do see your point, and I'm not going to disagree with it because, I mean, one of the things, especially with like the soup can or the banana, like you said, are they are things that are usually in the background
Yep.
of things, and he made it in the foreground. And the same thing with Tarantino, especially with his use of just general banter,
Mhm.
just all over the place. Like he brings those like little moments that are usually a waste of time. Like the car drive from here to here is usually cut out of the movie, where he keeps that car drive in the movie and be like, what do people talk about in the car? Blah blah
The
blah.
Royale with cheese thing is brilliantly written too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's a brilliantly written joke because it's a huge, long waste of time conversation that ends with the line, "I don't know, I didn't go to Burger King." Like, it's so good.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
what do they call a Whopper? I don't know, I didn't go to Burger King. That's the end of the conversation that took 20 minutes.
And that's what's fantastic about,
Yeah,
because
no,
I
it's
think
great.
but I think the thing is that it's the kind of conversation all of us have. You sit around, you're chit-chatting with your friends, you're going from here, you're going to there. Then you're like, oh, this would be really funny on a podcast. We should record this. And then we do. And so, but 99.95% of people out there are just like, that was just a conversation we had taken the subway. Like, it doesn't matter. But he brings it to the forefront of being something interesting and part of what people do. A lot of those quote unquote boring conversations can be interesting.
Yeah, that Jules and Vincent podcast, real good.
I would listen to it.
Unfortunately, the real good stuff behind the paywall now.
Uh,
Yeah, you have to have Patreon.
oh yeah,
It's rough.
no. I wish I was rich enough to pay for these things. I know. I'm not raking in the podcast dollars.
Yeah, it's a Royale with Pod, they call it. Not the best name.
No, not at
No.
all. No, they could do better than that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what else they could call it, but also I was just thinking about that restaurant, Jack Rabbit Slims, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I would go there.
Yep,
I would.
I would go there
I've
too.
always thought like that would be a really cool place to go.
Get an incredibly cheap milkshake.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, wait, a $5 milkshake? Is that expensive? I mean, I know it's not inexpensive, but that's not expensive. Even for that time period, that was not expensive.
Yeah, no. It is, however, burned into my brain forever. If I ever see like a $5 milkshake, I always think, don't put bourbon in or nothing. Every time. The brain
Hopefully
is
you don't.
broken.
I hope you don't say it to like everybody every time. They'll be
No,
like, "Oh God, you're
it's
doing this
quietly in
again."
my head. I'm not that insufferable.
Yeah.
Pretty insufferable, but not that insufferable. Um, but yeah, no, they don't put bourbon in or nothing.
Mhm.
Really good every
Well,
time.
oh, I should have written it down because when she orders the milkshake, they ask for like
Martin and
Amos and
Lewis or Amos and Andy.
Andy. What do you think that means?
One was a white duo and one was a black duo.
Oh,
So
chocolate
it was vanilla or
vanilla.
chocolate.
Oh,
I think if
okay.
you can,
That took a lot of effort.
I
Okay,
think if
yes.
you go to Burger's Priest and get a shake that's both, it's called a Riggs and Murtaugh.
Okay. I get it. I like it. I really shouldn't like it. That's offensive. No, it's fine.
Probably, yeah. I didn't laugh at all.
No, I don't think it's funny. I'm not smiling or giggling or
Yeah.
anything. Everything's fine. Yes.
Riggs.
Um. Oh, one thing I did notice was I never realized that Danny DeVito was one of the producers of this movie.
I wrote that down too. I was also surprised, and it made me go, nice.
Right?
Danny DeVito, you're on the cool list now.
He's so much cooler than all of us all of a sudden. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but also the Weinsteins were there, so I was like, ugh.
Yeah, no, speaking of aging, ugh, that one
Yeah,
doesn't do so
that
good.
does not age well at all. But yes, it's great.
I heard somebody talking about Danny DeVito recently. This was on another podcast, so apologies for that. He was made a pretty funny point though, was that like everyone kind of made fun of Danny DeVito for looking like he was really small and kind of had an odd shaped body in the 70s. But now he looks exactly the same and now looks pretty good for his age.
That is true. No matter what you look like, at some point in time in your life, you hit the point where you're like, you look good for your age.
Yeah. Nope. And Danny DeVito, I love Danny DeVito. He's great. But yeah, he caught up and beat us all.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
And he's living on some residual paychecks from this movie, that's for sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't think he'd be Arnold Schwarzenegger's brother.
But he was the twin that had all the leftover unwanted stuff.
What?
That's what they say in the
No,
movie. It's very sad. It's very sad. I
Yeah,
do.
that's
You know
such
what?
an odd movie.
Every time I think about that movie, it's very. It used to be on TV all the time, but it's very rarely on TV anymore. But when it comes on, I'm just thinking like, oh, that's such a stupid movie. But then you sit and you watch it, and you're just like, it's actually kind of sweet.
It's pretty good.
It's
pretty good. And so is Kindergarten Cop. Like I
Oh my
watched both
God,
of those on
it's so
TV
good.
recently. They're
Yeah.
both pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
Kindergarten Cop is chef's kiss. It got
It's real
the
good.
proper balance of like, mean tough guy and adorable cute kids just right without making it overly cheesy. And you're like, God, why is he doing kids movies? Like you didn't have that feeling.
I think he is an underrated comedic actor.
He is.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like I think people give him like Jingle All the Way. He's pretty funny in it. True Lies. He's really funny.
He's so good. Yes. I
There's
honestly think that's the last good movie he did, to be honest. But yes.
that's probably fair. I just want to go on a tangent to say one of my favorite lines from True Lies. It's when he's saying goodbye to his wife, Jamie Lee Curtis, like on the tarmac, and he has to leave because he has to go stop a bomb from going off. He just yells, "Bye!"
And he runs away.
Yeah, then he runs away. It's so strange.
Such a good movie.
It's so good.
The only thing that kind of ruins it is the jump jet thing at the end, where you're just like, that's clearly not going anywhere or doing anything, and it's like on a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty cheesy.
Fair about it.
But also nobody had to hold their breath for 7 or 8 minutes while they made it, so whatever.
That's true. That's a good thing.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I love that movie. That was a good tangent. I liked it.
Yeah. My next note was, so when they're doing that whole walk, oh my God, we're still in the first like 10 minutes of this movie. There's a part where the camera there's a lot of camera movement in this movie, which I think is super cool. The camera follows them the whole time, and then it gets up and they're a little early, and then they walk. There's like, okay, well, no, we'll just keep talking
Walk
for a
to the
little bit.
side.
So
Yeah.
the camera stays where it is, which is cool, and then they walk over, and then they talk a little more about this foot rub, being not in the ballpark or in the same ballpark, just really
Beautiful.
funny,
Yeah.
really great stuff. And then they go, all right, let's get into character.
The thing is, I have a comment about that part too. All I can say is that building is real complicated.
Yeah.
Because they turn the corner like 12 times.
It looks like a real
going left
location
and right.
though, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't understand. Like, those hallways are weird because they turn left and right like more times than you think would be correct in a building.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this building working? It was my confusion.
I noticed this time around like how crummy all the locations were, but like in a good way. Like everything looked realistically crappy.
Yes.
Like the apartment that like Butch lived in looked like something I could have afforded 20 years ago, when things were affordable in places. Just like kind of crappy and like, yeah, I could live here. Like, like that kind of place.
Well, I think the whole thing is that nobody in this movie is rich except for Marcellus, right? So everywhere they go, it's just like mediocrity, I suppose, is the best way I can say it. So like I think the locations are perfectly fitting for what they were doing.
Yeah, but I think like I feel like movies now, like even when it's like quote unquote slumming or whatever, like it still looks slick. Like things look too slick now. This looks like realistically dingy. Yeah. And like very like lower middle class.
Yeah, I think they just overdress their sets because they're like, no, you gotta have like stuff in there, like stuff to attract the eye. Yeah. Whereas in this movie, a lot of walls were just like blank walls all over the place. You'd never see that anymore in movies, no matter where they are. Somebody's got like a poster tacked to the wall or something is up there, Yeah, I agree with you.
It felt good. It has a good like tactile feel. This a lot of the sets and like the hotel that Butch and what's his girlfriend's name?
Oh, that's a good question. Which also
Fabiana.
I feel sad for her.
She has kind of a rough time. I mean, like your boyfriend's kind of abusive, like not really like in a necessarily physical way, but probably emotionally abusive, and like probably yells at her a lot. But he also gets punched in the head for a living. So, yeah, no, she has a rough time of it. Whose chopper is this is really good. Yes. She gets a couple good lines. She has a couple good little monologues though.
She does, yes.
About the pot belly.
I mean, I find like now I find that part of the movie just so slimy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's upsetting.
Yeah, like her talking about like the pot belly and stuff. I'm just like as I said, I just feel sorry for her. The whole thing. It's like you're clearly not stupid or anything, but you have been put in this position where I think your esteem has been brought down to a level, and you are just accepting this stuff happening to you, and you don't have to.
Yeah, I think they're probably closer to like Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, where it's like, yeah, they both have this. They're put together as a like couple that's doomed. You know what I mean? Like True Romance or whatever, where it's like this sort of like couple that's like there's a romance, there's a whirlwind to it, but that it probably doesn't go anywhere really.
Yeah, like I think like Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, like they're gonna die pretty soon. Yeah. I see that happening, but they seem to have a level of respect for each other,
right?
Compared to with Butch and what's her face. Like I shouldn't call it. It seems mean.
I think it's Fabiana. I think is it Fabiana?
Well, with Butch and her, I'm just like that level of like equal care for each other. It just isn't there. Yeah. It's like she belongs to Butch, and she doesn't think she's allowed to get away from Butch.
Yeah, I get you.
So
I think she's excited for the adventure, though.
She's excited for the adventure.
Yeah, she says it in French. She's like the adventure begins. So she's running away from something.
It's Fabienne.
Fabian.
Yes.
Um,
Fabienne.
yeah,
Fabian? Yeah? Okay.
sure.
Gonna go with it.
I don't know what that means because I know that butch doesn't mean shit. Yeah, no, it is that sequence is the most uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And it also requires like probably the most amount of disbelief to be pulled up, right? Where it's all that one's just chaos.
Mhm.
Like it's nuts. I also clocked this time how much the Butch character is just like Daredevil's dad from Marvel Comics.
Really?
Because yeah, he's supposed to like throw a fight for the mob and he doesn't because he has too much integrity or whatever, and then the
Mm.
mob kills him. Like that's the story of Matt Murdock's dad.
Okay.
Um, so and I'm sure that that's like Quentin Tarantino reads a bunch of comic books, so I'm sure that that's not lost on him. Um, but yeah, no, I clocked that this time. But yeah, no, you are right though. It is
Yeah.
it's grimy
Mhm.
and gross.
But
And it
also,
turns into a horror movie.
essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like the funny thing is you're saying like that's like probably the hardest scene to watch, and then afterwards you got like gimp guy raping people in the basement going on, and you're just like, no, this other scene was worse. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I think the thing is the scene that follows with Zed and everything is just so intensely crazy that you're sitting there just going like, what is happening? Where
Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da,
yeah.
ba.
And then the scene before though, you know exactly what's happening, and you're just like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like this. This is not no. It's just you curl into yourself a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean it's yeah, it is a realistic kind of violence that you kind of don't see throughout the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, although the rape scene pretty explicit. Like
Yeah.
it's also pretty visceral.
Yes.
So I'm not
Yes, it
gonna give
is.
that one a pass. It
No,
is
no.
interesting. It's an interesting scene though, because it's like he goes back for him, right? Like that's the kind of the thing to it. And it is kind of like an interesting like the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing.
But
Where it's like,
also the funny part about it is that yeah, he goes back for him, but he takes his time going back for him as he like
well, he wants
picks
to
the
get the right.
perfect weapon.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah. Well, I like him trying out the different ones. He's like,
yeah.
oh, a hammer. I could hit him with the hammer. Oh, there's a
As you
chainsaw. You go like
as you
that with
hear the
that.
like grunting
Oh,
in the background, and you're just like, oh my god, just hurry up, pick something, let's
that's
go.
nauseating.
It's
Um,
so wrong.
my
So
my
wrong.
my lady friend watched this with me, and she's probably listening now. So hello. But she pointed out that like afterwards, like after Butch chops that dude up and the other guy gets shot in the dick, um, he stands behind Marcellus because
Mm-hmm.
Marcellus Wallace delivers this monologue that's just great,
Mm-hmm.
without breaking any contact with the guy on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she pointed out how small and meek Butch looks in the background because he's kind of like hunched over and just like, so we good?
Yeah.
We good? Uh, and so like, yeah, no, and which is also cool because like anything with like Marcellus Wallace really owns pretty much any room he's in, right? Like any scene with him is like, nope, that's the scene with him in it.
Yes, it's really true because he does have like this he I mean he is a big man, but he's
Mhm.
also has this large presence as well that you're just like, yeah, okay, I get it. And like this is the first thing I ever saw Ving Rhames in, and I was just like, that man is gonna be amazing. And then everything
He
else he
rules.
did was like, I don't know. I think the only thing I ever saw him in was like the Mission Impossible movies. Did he
But I
do
love
anything
him in
else?
those too.
Yeah, he's pretty good. But he
I
doesn't
love him in those.
but his character in those movies, except for the first one. No, the second one. The first one? No, he's in the
He's in the
secondary.
first one the most.
He's in
He's the one that holds the ropes, like when he's like being like brought down, right? Isn't that Ving Rhames holding that stuff?
no, it's the
Is it
guy
Jean
who
Reno?
is John Renault. It's
Jean
him.
Reno,
He's
and
the one who
then
holds
and
him.
right, and then
Yes.
Ving
And
Rhames is
then
in the van.
yes, he's in the van. That's what it is. Yes. And I find like he seems less he has
Yeah,
less gravitas for
yeah, I
some
get you.
reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he also, I mean, he's also the bouncer in the movie Striptease, starring Demi Moore, which is another staple of late night television. But he's fun in that too. But he's also kind of a teddy bear. He plays a teddy bear a lot more than I think he wants to play the tough guy. I don't know if that's by design or by his own kind of preference.
Choice, yeah.
I would like to see him more though. He's one of those ones that's like, oh, cool, Ving Rhames is in this. He's cool. Like he makes things better.
And I mean, like, you don't have to be like a gangster every time to play like the tough, formidable man. You could be like, you know, the tough guy with the heart of gold kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what he does.
Yeah, but
like, I think even a little bit in Mission Impossible, he's a little bit like a tough guy with a heart of gold, like a bit. Mm-hmm. Like, I know he's playing a support character.
Yeah.
In it.
But I found, like, as those movies have gone along, like, he's done his part with his computers and everything, but he seems to get, like, softer and softer and softer with every one of those movies. And I'm just like, where's your, I'm a tough guy, you know, like, feeling.
I feel like he probably has, like, a really soft personality in real life for some reason. I feel like he's, like should be, like, a really nice dude.
Oh, yeah, probably.
It seems like it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see
anyway, come back, Ving Rhames. We love you.
I agree. I agree. And so also, at the beginning of that scene, you have the amazing Christopher Walken doing that whole monologue to give Butch this watch. Yep. And I am sorry. But that man should, I know it's only like 5 minutes and people have won Oscars for about the same supporting role, but he should have fucking won the Oscar for that, because that whole scene from beginning to end, from the angle, as soon as he like walks across, because you're at Butch's 6-year-old angle, whatever, is just amazing.
It's an insane speech.
Yes.
Because it's so, you want it to be heartfelt so bad, right? Because like it's a soldier coming back and talking to the son of the man who died next to him, and it's very, you know, talking to this young child about the sacrifices dad made, which is a very like heartfelt moment, and then it immediately spoils itself with a watch that he hid up his ass for years, like had to like keep putting this uncomfortable piece of metal up his ass, and just like keeps cutting it in with that specific phrase, which takes you out of any sort of sentimentality that you could have felt.
But I also think that's a reference to the fact that he's a soldier. He's not a man of words. He's not a man of, he's a man of action. And he's like, though he's telling the story, he's telling it like as straight words, and he's telling you the truth about it, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, look, we kept watching our ass. Like, that's the only place that's what our natural pocket, I think is what they call it. But
sorry, who's they? Who is the they in that?
The kid from Deadpool 2.
Okay.
Yes. But I think they say natural pocket because he keeps digging things out of his
mouth. That's
fine. But he was just like, look, I can't mince words. I don't know how to make this sound beautiful, you know, but kept it in my ass. Like,
within the reality of the movie, it makes a lot of sense. It's perfect. But as a viewer, they keep going up his ass. Like, just as a fact to like, and it's peppered in like a racial slur. It's peppered in to the story here and there.
Yeah.
But like, it really takes you out of it because it's so specific in it doing it. Like he doesn't need to say that. You could tell that story was like, I kept it secret, I kept it hidden. You could have said that the whole time. He keeps saying up his ass over and over and over again.
But I think the thing is like, Tarantino doesn't make straight serious movies.
Yeah, no, he does not.
You know, all of his movies, you know, even like Crazy 8, right?
No, that's a Paul Thomas Anderson. Oh, Hateful Eight.
Sorry, Hateful Eight.
Hard Eight is a Paul Thomas Anderson. Yeah.
Hateful Eight and Django Unchained and all that kind of stuff, which technically have serious content. Because I think, like, in Django Unchained, the funniest thing is the KKK guys having a conversation about their hoods. Like, it's, as a black person, I shouldn't think that's funny, but it's the best scene in the movie because Jamie Foxx isn't in it. But whatever. It's fine.
Well, it's like the Springtime for Hitler scene, right? Like it's
oh my God.
detracting from a group by showing their stupidity, right?
Exactly.
Like it's the idea of we cut the eyes out wrong in our KKK hood is, I'm sure, a thing that happened.
Yes.
Because that would be really hard to cut. Right? Yeah. Like I would you have to like draw it on with a Sharpie and then like, oh, okay, I have it in the right place. Turn it inside. Like you have to like, there's a method to having to do that, which obviously these people would not do because they're idiots. And so they're complaining, and the other one's, isn't one of them bad? And then the other one's like, my wife did that. And he's like,
and one of them falls down because he can't.
You do it next time. Yeah, no, it's like a fucking SNL sketch in the middle of Django Unchained.
It really is. Yeah. And the thing is, it works. And my problem with Django, I know we're not supposed to be talking about Django, but the problem with Django is that, like, the individual scenes in that movie I find very good, except for the last one. I'm sorry. I think it's 98% Jamie Foxx's fault. I think they should have just put some unknown black dude in that role, but whatever. But like, the parts are good, but the whole just doesn't work for that movie, and it drives me crazy. Yeah,
no, I agree with you. There's definitely some great stuff. Like some of those tension building scenes, like he's been doing tension stuff like real well lately. Like because he did. Like Inglourious Basterds was just like 6 tension scenes in a row, and then
that
Django has like a couple of them.
That opening is just bonkers in Inglourious Basterds. Like, it is absolutely nuts. And in Django, it's the scene where DiCaprio like punches the skull or whatever at the dinner table, and you're just like, holy
real good
shit. And you're what? You know, he just brings that in.
Yeah.
And then
my issue with Django, and I think I probably said it on this specific podcast multiple times, I feel like the violence is too much in that one. Like, it's too real in a way, like realistic in a way that makes me uncomfortable. Like, it's the violence in that one makes me uncomfortable. The violence in this one makes me laugh. That's the difference.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So, like, to me, like, Kill Bill, really funny.
Hold on, but even though the violence in this is more real than in Django,
the rape stuff doesn't make me laugh in this one.
No, definitely
but
not.
Like, oh man, I shot Marvin the Fakes makes me laugh real hard.
Yes.
And like, what are the other, like? I don't think there's a ton.
Well, there's Vincent getting shot in the bathroom. He gets blown
away, which also. Chaos, right? That it makes absolutely no sense to anything else happening. It just happens.
And he keeps reading. What is it? He's reading what? Tropic of Cancer or something like that.
Oh, we looked it up, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was something I hadn't heard of.
Oh, really? Why? I always thought
it was like a pulp novel, I think.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. Apparently, the reason why he, like, throughout the movie he ends up in the bathroom, it apparently might point to the fact that he's a heroin addict, and being hooked on heroin makes you constipated, and so it's him just trying to go to the bathroom all the time.
That's why he has that book with him all the time. That's funny. Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, that I actually did know that heroin makes you constipated. I think I know that from Train Spotting.
That's right.
Yeah,
that is right.
I think it's in Train Spotting.
Oh wow, we are disturbed. Okay, it's fine. And all I could just picture is him diving into the toilet for the suppository now.
I read that book. I read like that section of the book too. Like, that book is written in the dialect too. It's written in an accent.
I tried to read that. I could not read it. I'm like, how did you decipher this to make this a movie is my question. You know, it's absolutely crazy. But good on them.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I heard the second one's fun too. I haven't seen it though.
I found the second one kind of boring. Like, it's a continuation of the story. They go back like 20 years later and everybody's all like, we're adults now. And some of them are trying their best not to be addicts, and the other ones are addicts, and then some of them do drugs together. You're just like, all right,
Sounds like Trainspotting.
yeah, well, that's
Sounds like
it.
Trainspotting.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Um,
definitely watch it though. It's not like unwatchable or anything. I just didn't get what I thought I was gonna get out of it.
yeah. I would also go to Jack Rabbit Slims. And the dance sequel at Jack Rabbit Slims is awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, Jackrabbit Slim, I'd be there in a heartbeat. Ugh.
Yeah. I heard somebody say recently they thought it was a real place.
Oh,
And they were disappointed.
imagine, but I mean, come on, this was clearly filmed in LA.
Hmm.
And at that point in time, would you have doubted that would have been a real place in LA?
No. This 50s were really big in the 90s.
They really were.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why the 90s or the 80s are popular now. Is that how that math works? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the 80s now. That
Yeah,
would be
that's
is that what hipsters are into now? Fake hipsters were into the 80s in the early 2000s, but now is it real hipsters that are into the 80s now?
um well
It's a 40-year cycle and a 20-year cycle.
well, real hipsters are just into thrift stores and their grandparents' clothing, which
Okay,
are
so that's the
ruining the
80s.
business of thrift stores right now because thrift stores are just turning into regular stores, but there's just old clothes in them.
You mean Value Village Boutique isn't the amazing deal that I thought it would be?
No, I'm sorry, it's really not.
What? I get all the security guards and none of the good prices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I would. I think when I first saw this movie, I was like, that has to be real. I need to go to LA. I need to go to that place.
I can't be a square.
But also, she draws a rectangle, and I'm going to tell you this right now: all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. It just
It's true.
doesn't.
It's the other way around.
It doesn't work. It just
But
doesn't
unless she thought that the expression was be there or be rectangle.
work. Yes.
She could have.
Apparently, I read this, I don't know. It was some tweet or post or something interwebby that came across my face at some point. Where they said the reason why be there, be square is because you won't be around.
Oh. I thought it was just like be a square.
Well, yeah, because you
It's
won't
like
be
because
around.
no, like squares are lame though. It's like, oh, that guy's such a square.
Yeah, and the reason why they pick square is
Oh,
because
it's
you're
because they're
not.
not around?
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, that's a lot more clever than I thought it was.
that's what I
So,
thought.
yeah, all right.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
usually.
one of those things that makes me go like, ha ha ha. It makes me go like, oh, okay.
And I think I did exactly the same thing. I read. I was like, okay. Yeah, because
Oh, okay.
like if you're square, that means you don't go to the parties. You're not with the cool kids. Blah
You're
blah.
not in
Blah.
the scene.
You're not in the scene, right?
You're not around the
So
scene. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You go,
Huh.
that's it.
She
That's all
does
I
the
got.
square thing in Kill Bill, right? She does the. I think
I
she
don't
does
think
it
she does
that'd
this.
make us about. I don't think she does it with two hands. I think she does it with one finger.
Maybe
I think she
is
goes
it?
that'd make us about square, and she like draws a square. I think. I think she's talking to Vivica A. Fox.
Okay. I know she does some. She draws something at some point in Kill Bill. I'm not 100% it's square though. I've watched that movie less than I've watched Pulp Fiction, which I think is wrong because I think Kill Bill is better.
Okay, it's interesting.
Um,
I think this is his magnum opus, like
it
in a
is.
way. Like I think it is his most complete thought.
You
Like
don't think Kill Bill, especially Volume One, and like it's the
oh,
two movies have to go together. You don't think that's a complete thought?
I think that one's two thoughts. I know it's written as one movie, but it feels like two movies. Like it definitely both have very different vibes to them.
They
But I
do.
feel like Pulp Fiction is the most of a cross section of his whole thing.
Okay.
Like if he made Pulp Fiction last, we would go like, "Oh, he's referencing all his other stuff." Like Pulp Fiction is sort of like a weird like he's calling his own shot for the rest of his career. He's like, "I'm going to do this." And he sort of is. It's like this like the Pulp Fiction is exaggerated the same way everything else is, right?
Mhm.
Like his vision of LA is like 100% through the lens of cinema and through specifically garbage cinema.
Yeah.
Um And I feel like this one is his most him movie. That may not be my favorite one. I think Inglorious might be my favorite one. That one is like one I really enjoy watching over and over again. But I think this one is his most complete Quentin Tarantino-y movie.
Well, I also think this is the first time, like, I know he did already do Reservoir Dogs, but that was like a small budget, get some people together, they're taking a chance on you, so you're gonna do something that's quote unquote safe, but also something that's representative of who you are. And they're like, you know what, this was really good, here's some more money, like, do you. And that's what he did. He's like, no, I'm gonna do me now. And then everything that came after was, I'm being me, but I got a shit ton of money, let's fucking do it, like, it's you get
this
to like a certain
made
level.
$213 million on an $8.5 million budget.
I mean, can't really go wrong with that. And probably like 7 million of that was probably people's paychecks.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they probably took a pay cut, but like people admit, like, Thurman wasn't really so big. John Travolta was on the rocks.
I honestly think Bruce Willis and Christopher Walken were the biggest stars in it at the time.
100% Bruce Willis, because it was after Die Hard.
Yes.
So like he was slumming it. He was like, I want to go to Cannes and be in an art movie, and he got to do it, and he gets credit. I mean, if it was executive producer Bruce Willis, that would make more sense than Danny DeVito.
Yeah, it really would. Yeah.
The actual one of the producers does show up in the diner at the end. Lawrence Bender is like one of the people that gets like pushed over by Pumpkin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he's like, be like, look, we don't have enough people in the restaurant. Just go over there and just come in here. Yeah, just go. Yeah,
I think.
Whatever.
Well, he's credited. I think he might be credited as Yuppie, but he might be credited as Yuppie in something else. Like I think he's in like a couple of them, but he's like the long-haired dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Just like the manager of the store, at one point in time, he gets cut off when he's like, "I'm just a coffee shop," and he's like, "Shut up." In the credits, he's credited as coffee shop. So I think that's really funny.
I didn't catch that. That's great.
Yeah. Oh, I technically didn't catch that either. I was reading through like the notes at the end, and then I like watched the movie, and then it was there, and I was like, haha.
So on the Blu-ray, there is a trivia track that I turned on. I turned it on for like the first minute.
Yeah.
And first of all, there's way too many pieces of trivia that were not trivia at all. It was just like, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, we don't find out the real name till the end of the movie. I'm like, okay, that's not interesting in the slightest. And I think at that point I just turned it off. I didn't even make it to the title. I was just like, this is annoying. I turned it off.
It's like pop-up video, except
it was pop-up video.
Much. Yeah.
Yeah. It was pop-up video.
This is one of the reasons why people always just like, well, I watched it with the commentary on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't want people talking over my movie. I want to watch the movie. I don't care if I've seen this movie 800 times. Having somebody talk over my whole movie while I'm watching it is not my idea of a good time.
I like the anecdotes. I've watched things with the commentary. Sometimes I'd use it to fall asleep. Yeah. I'll have the commentary on when I'm like dozing off.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
Kevin Smith audio commentaries were pretty good. I remember those being pretty good when I was a kid.
But I think there was like 2 movies I tried it on that I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. And it was like with you at the beginning of this movie, where it's like 2 minutes in, I was like, I can't, this has to be turned off. I can't do this. Like, shut up. I wanna hear what they're saying. I'm looking at it. I want to do the thing. Yeah. Yeah,
no, you should watch the if you're doing a Kevin Smith thing again coming up, you should watch the commentary track, because he's good at talking. You just have to, if it's somebody that's good at talking, then it's fun. Simpsons commentaries were also really good. I have any Kevin watched all those.
I know I have Zack and Miri Make a Porno, but I don't think I have anything else in between there. That's all the way at the end.
Yeah. No, I remember like Dogma was my first DVD I ever bought. So like I inhaled that thing and watched every single thing on that disc.
I love Dogma.
Dogma's a fun one that like people don't really reference so much. But his commentaries are great because he just tells anecdotes just like he does in his live shows.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think with Dogma as well, because it was so in the Dogma DVD, at the end of it, they have like a little mini featurette about the making of the movie, and they talk about like the protests that were happening from religious groups about it and
Mhm.
stuff, and like how he went to one and then accidentally got interviewed, and then he
Yep.
pretended he was just like a protester, and they're
Mhm.
like, "You kind of look like Kevin Smith." He's like, "No, I hate that guy," and you're like, "What?" It's great.
Mhm. It's good. It's good stuff. Yeah, no, I love that. That's a great anecdote. And
It
actually,
is.
every once in a while, like that'll pop up, just like in my head, like different Kevin Smith stories, as it did when we watched our second movie, which that's a teaser for
For
later.
what's coming up.
Yep.
Wait, now I'm trying to think of like what you would have thought of
It
in that
is. It
one.
is. You will never get it.
Okay.
There is like it is. I'll tell you later, like when we get to it.
Yeah.
But it is the most tangential, weird reference, and I had to Google it to see if I was right, and I was.
What?
And he's like, "Hey,
Okay.
wait, am I? Did Kevin Smith mention that name?" And I looked it up. And I'm like, "Yep, he did." And I don't even really know what he mentioned it in the context of. I just know like the punchline with it,
Oh my
and I'll let
God.
you know. Um, but we're still on. Yeah, I don't have a ton more notes for Pulp Fiction.
Me neither.
Uh,
Yeah, so one thing I did note is that so technically if you put this movie in actual chronological order,
mhm,
the scene with Butch, when he pulls off, he says, "Zed's dead, honey. Zed's dead."
mhm,
That's technically the end of the movie.
correct.
That is like the
That is the
end of the
last
story.
chronological thing. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
him riding off into
And
the sunset.
and I know out there it exists, like somebody recut the movie so that it's shown in like chronological order. I haven't watched it
It's got to be
because
terrible, right?
I feel like it's gonna lose some of its, cachet
It's
being in
not
like
going
the
to be
regular order.
interesting.
No.
It'll just be blah. Like it's like I mean, people like I think you can watch Memento in the right order,
Hmm.
and like, but why would you? Like, it
Yeah.
just ruins it. Like, it's
Well,
just
because
that's just
it,
not
it
the way the
ruins
movie's built.
because the movie is a mystery, and if
Yeah,
you put it in the right order, there's no mystery. You're like,
yeah,
oh, it's this guy.
yeah.
That's
It's
just
just
it.
a man on a murdering spree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
without knowing that he's on a murder spree,
a
and then
mentally ill man on a murdering
yeah, and
spree.
then when he figures out he's the one on the murdering spree, he's like, I'm just gonna forget about it, so it's fine.
Yep. Let's
So
just erase that.
yeah, so it also means that he's a bad person.
Oh
So
yeah, that's a great
yeah.
movie.
Excellent movie,
That's a
absolutely
good
excellent
one.
movie, and that's why all the blood rushed to Christopher Nolan's head, and now he makes shit.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate his movies. I didn't think Tenet was great, but
Exactly.
I liked Dunkirk enough.
I didn't watch
And
Dunkirk, but it's a war movie, so I won't get around to it for a very long time
he,
if I ever do.
Christopher Nolan does really interesting stuff with time.
Hmm.
That's sort of like, oh, what's he gonna do with time this time? Like that's sort of like the fun because he did the backwards movie. Um, Dunkirk is told in three different timelines at different speeds,
Hmm.
and they interact with each other. Like, how does that work? Like, it's so weird. Um,
Okay.
and then Tenet, half of it's backwards.
Hmm.
I think the only one that's not like very timey is The Prestige.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah, that's magic. I did
Yeah,
like.
that's more of a straight
I
up.
actually do really like the Prestige. Okay.
Okay. I'm not a
Um,
huge see. I'm not huge on the Prestige. I'm bigger on the other ones.
I
And oh,
really really I thought
yeah,
the Prestige was just chef's kiss.
I
I
thought it was a
mean,
well-made bad movie. I think, but I also
what?
hadn't seen. I haven't seen it in 20 years. As
Okay.
was same with Punch-Drunk Love. Hadn't seen it in 20 years.
Well,
I'm old now, so I can say that now, and it feels good. It's good
yeah.
to say I haven't done something in 20 years and it be
Does it
true.
though? It kind of like breaks my heart when I say
Oh,
that.
it hurts a little bit, but also like it just feels good phonetically. Like it
Yeah.
feels like a good round number for like that's a long time ago.
Yeah, the last time I did this, some kid was not in college. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh,
Yes.
I think everybody in college now was not alive for 9/11, and that's a bummer.
Oh my God. Wait, do you think they get those 9/11 references then?
No, they don't know what the hell that is.
They're like,
They
I
are
was,
the ones that forgot.
oh my
We're just like, we're
God.
never supposed to do that, and they didn't listen.
Oh, I guess that's like our parents, or at least my parents' generation, was like, I knew where I was when during the moon landing. I guess
Right.
I know where I was during 9/11. I mean, one's kind of happy and one's really, really sad.
Let's say
what's
when
good?
JFK died. Let's do that one. I
Yes.
remember where I was when JFK died
Yes.
and 9/11. We'll do that. We won't compare it to the moon landing.
Exactly.
One
Okay.
of the greatest accomplishments in human history.
That makes me feel slightly better. Like, I don't know. How about moon landing and when Obama was elected?
Sure, I'll take that.
Sworn in. I actually do remember where it was when Obama was sworn in the first time. Oh, touched my heart. I was in a Wendy's drive-thru.
How is that not my answer? Because that's where I spend most of my time.
Yeah.
I am so sorry for peeking on that laugh. I try not to laugh directly into the microphone, but that really tickled me.
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
I'll always remember where I was when Obama won Wendy's drive-through.
Not when he won, when he was being like inaugurated, like he was doing a speech.
Oh, I see.
I was sitting in a Wendy's drive-through on my lunch break, and I was like tearing my eye. I was like, I will have a color. It's fine.
That's so good.
I think the reason why I remember that is because it's such a stupid place to be when something important is happening. You know what I mean? That you're just like, oh, it's in your brain now. That's it.
I love that is a perfect joke for me. That is a chef kiss of an anecdote.
Yeah.
Because it matches something that's grand with something so banal.
Yeah.
And that always makes me laugh.
It's so true. And that is also why I remember it. So
that's right.
You're welcome.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I enjoy like the banal conversations in this movie.
It's also very of the 90s. The 90s were all about that. Like Kevin Smith movies that had the similar kind of bend, right? Yeah. Like Clerks is Clerks the same year as Pulp Fiction?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually think
might be.
I feel like I should know that.
I want to say they're both 94.
Clerks is 94. You are correct.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, obviously Kevin Smith didn't rip off Tarantino when he made Clerks. But, like, you know, it's also full of stupid dialogue that means nothing. Salsa Shark. That's so stupid. Talking about the carpenters on the Death Star. Like, that could have been in either movie.
It really could have. I would have believed if somebody has an idea about Pulp Fiction and has an idea about Quentin Tarantino, and you said, "Oh, they talked about this in Pulp Fiction," you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that sounds about right." Like,
yeah, I mean, the conversation about Like a Virgin being about a woman that has sex with a lot of dudes, like that definitely could have been in a Kevin Smith movie.
Yes,
like word for word.
Wait,
it could have been.
Oh yeah, no, Like a Virgin. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I was thinking Like a Prayer, and Like a Prayer is apparently about her giving a blowjob. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, she does a lot of things that are sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least she used to do it well. She's not very good at it anymore. Funny thing.
Well, she started doing it with a British accent, and that turned a lot of people off.
They're just like, now we just can't take you seriously.
You're from Detroit.
And you're Italian. Like,
yeah.
Like, let's get this together here. Not working. What is my last note? We already talked about that. Okay. So yeah, no, I have no more notes on Pulp Fiction, but I also think I was busy watching the movie. So I also think Sam Jackson should have gotten an Oscar for playing Jules, because he's fucking fantastic in there.
He's honestly, he's amazing in all Tarantino movies. He's anytime he shows up, another one that's just like, oh, sweet. Sam Jackson showed up.
My question is, like, there are certain actors and certain genres of movies that will never win an Oscar. And despite that, you're like, why haven't these people won an Oscar? Because they're just so good at what they do and how they do it, and in different ways. Like despite Sam Jackson is known for saying motherfucker everywhere in like the best way possible, he embodies a character every time he says it. Right? It doesn't. It never seems out of place. It never seems. except for like Snakes on a Plane or something. It doesn't seem Sam Jackson-y. It's just like, nah, this guy's fucking Jules, man. It's like, motherfucker, shit. Like, it's just like, oh my God, this is so good. But he will never win an Oscar for that. And if he does, high fives all around ever in the future, when I listen back at this and he's won an Oscar, that'd be awesome. But it's the kind of thing that would never, I don't think will ever happen. And it makes me sad.
Well, I think there needs to be a category at the Oscars for best motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yes.
The award already kind of looks like Sam Jackson. Let's be fair. And if it says best motherfucker on it, it's going to be Sam Jackson that gets it.
Exactly.
He's a character actor, right? Like those kind of roles don't get it. He has a blast doing stuff, I think. Yeah. And I can tell he's having fun. Although Michelle Yeoh won an Oscar this year.
Which was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I watched Super Cop, Police Story 3 Super Cop last night.
Oh my God.
Where she's in that from like 1992. It was awesome, and she kicked so much ass in it. But she won an Oscar. That's great. Yeah.
I do feel like, despite the fact that I think Jamie Lee Curtis does a really great job in the movie, and she won the Oscar and stuff, and I am not hating on her in any way, shape, or form. I am real sorry, but like the girl who plays the daughter should have fucking won an Oscar. She needed to win an Oscar because she is amazing. And then after the Oscars, I found out she was the girl in the deodorant commercial who pretends to drop something on the floor and was like blow drying her armpit in the bathroom. And I was like, oh my God, that's her? Like, I remember that commercial. That's how much I liked that commercial at the time. And I was like, she deserves an Oscar.
I think probably the logic to it was that Jamie Lee Curtis had never won before. And that Stephanie Hsu, right? That's her name.
Yes.
The daughter from Everything Everywhere. I think it's HSU. I don't know how to pronounce Sue. She's gonna have a lot more time and is probably gonna win a bunch of them. Like, it's sort of like she's a big up and comer and all that kind of stuff. But Jamie Lee Curtis winning is closer to what you're talking about, where a character actor like Sam Jackson would win, because like he could have played something in that kind of role, right? Like, it's a big role she plays. Like, she's playing a big character, and kind of going all out with it. Like, she's doing a crazy accent and a voice and like
sausage fingers.
Oh my God. There's so many sausage. The fact that there are so many sausage fingers at the Oscars just made me happy for the Oscars. I know the Oscars are dumb, but I do put some weight in them. So
yes, I mean, I don't put weight on the movies that win an Oscar or the movies that are nominated, because I find I'm not saying that they're not good or not well made or whatever. Actually, no, a few of them aren't very good. Like Crash, I know that's from like 1998. Yeah, they don't deserve Oscars. I'm sorry. Especially not Best Picture Oscars. But like, most of those movies do not have the content in them that for me represents what cinema is, which is, like they only nominate things where people just cry a lot.
Yeah.
Or like are extremely depressing. And I'm like, why do you think this is the only way that you can show acting? But it's been proven, like, it's easier to make people cry than it is to make people laugh. So why aren't more comedians nominated for Oscars? Or like, like some of these like action movies. Yes, I'm not talking about like nominating the Fast and Furious movies for like, best actor or anything, but like some of these movies are fucking fantastic, and like they will never be nominated for like anything except for like a sound design.
Well, I mean, that's why I root for certain ones. Like it would have been really cool if Pulp Fiction had won in 1994, right? Like, that would have been pretty sweet, right? That would have been like something cool one, and like showed people that like this is what we think is good. Like, that's sort of the weight that I put on it, is like, it tells people that are like creatively leaning that this is high art, right? Like, that is culture in terms of mainstream America. So like, if this had won, like, that would have been cool. Everything Everywhere All at Once winning is super cool, because that's a weird movie that doesn't it doesn't have the same self-importance as other things do. And
But
like it's not also trying not to depress you. It's trying to
but
have
I
fun and
also
yeah.
I also think it just crosses all of the genres because
Hmm.
there are scary parts, horror, there are action parts, there are soft sentimental parts. There is like just like a romantic element to it. There's all of these things. It like covers all of the areas, and I think that's one of the reasons why it also couldn't be ignored,
Hmm.
because you're just like, you are surrealist but real at the same time,
Yeah.
you know. Like, I think one of the best scenes in the movie has nothing to do with the actors. It has to do with fucking rocks and subtitles. Like, it rocks with googly eyes at that with subtitles. And I don't the like, that scene for me was like the hardest scene in the movie.
Mhm.
And not hard as in like I couldn't watch it, but hard as in like, oh my
Rock hard.
god. Oh my god, don't feel things for rocks on a screen, Tracy. That's
Yep.
stupid. You know.
Hmm. No,
So
I love that movie, and I'm happy it won. Good Guys won.
they did, and I was shocked because I did not participate in my Oscar pool because I was like, I'm just gonna check off everything everywhere all at once for all of these things, and there's no way it's gonna win, so there's no point. And then it won everything. I'm like, I could have won my Oscar pool.
Hmm.
Oh my god, I could have won the Oscar pool.
Yeah, but I mean that's sort of the end of this one. Is sort of like it ended up losing,
Yeah,
and it lost to Forrest Gump.
yeah, but it did win Best Screenplay.
Yes, he wins those. That's sort of
Yes.
his thing. That tends to be what they give like weird movies. They usually give it the screenplay award. Like Eternal
Yeah,
Sunshine won the screenplay award.
which should want
Um,
one more as well. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Mhm.
like there's always a movie at the Oscars that is like the cool one, and Pulp Fiction was in 1994. And usually that cool movie wins the screenplay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
They because I think the Academy knows, are like, look, this movie is good. We got to give it something, but
Yeah.
because people aren't crying or killing themselves or aren't overly depressed and addicted to drugs, we can't give them Best Oscar. So
Hmm.
Best Picture. So we got to give them screenplay. It is screenplay. It is done.
Hmm.
Like, ugh,
Yeah.
drives me crazy. But yes.
They give it to the clever. The clever writers is who wins
I'm like,
Oscars.
we see what you're doing
Yeah,
here.
we get it. We're hip.
um I don't know. I can literally talk about Pulp Fiction all day, but we also have another movie to talk about.
Yes.
Um, did you cover all of your notes for Pulp Fiction?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, Kathy Griffin plays herself.
Yes, she does. That is a note. Is that a note I had? That isn't. No, that's not a note I had. Never mind. But I did notice that in the credits,
Yep.
where I was like, oh, okay.
As herself, Kathy Griffin. All
I
right.
mean,
Fair enough.
it's in LA, man. She's probably just walking down the street like them. She's
That
like,
guy's
what's going on
driving
over
like
here?
a maniac.
Yes. Love it. Did I say everything at the start, the middle? Oh, my only other comment was there. It goes right back to the beginning of the movie. There's discussion about like getting all the money from like the patrons by stealing all their wallets and everything.
Mhm.
I'm like, that wouldn't work now.
Nope.
Nobody has cash
No
in
one's
their
got
wallets
cash.
anymore.
Yep.
Like, it's over. You'd be getting a lot. You'd be having to take everybody to like an ATM or something to give you money, or like collect PIN numbers or something.
Make
Like,
them
oh.
Venmo you at gunpoint. Goddamn millennials.
That's the thing. I feel so, but the funny thing is, so I feel so bad for, like, you see people on the street, they're asking for change, and I used to be a very good person, be like, if I have change in my pocket here, there, whatever, it's fine. But now I'm just like, I legit have no money. I'm sorry. Like,
Have I told you the story where I tried to give change to somebody? So I was on a date and I was like walking down Queen West and somebody asked for change and I just like reached into my pocket because I'm like I'm gonna I'm with a person that I want to think is that I think I'm a good person, and so I dig out all the change I had, but I just had like a dime,
Oh
and so
no.
I dropped the dime in the cup and the guy got mad at me.
Oh wow. Like, that was not enough. It
No,
was
it's
not enough.
true. I mean, he's right. That's an insulting amount of money to give somebody, but it's
Mhm.
literally all I had in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, I didn't have as much change from the bar as I thought I did.
Mm-hmm. You're like, you gotta give like a dollar, or at least a quarter, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, dime's pretty brutal.
that's a rough one.
At least I got rid of pennies, so you don't have to worry about
Yep.
that part. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
I get you, I get you. But yeah, I
And
think
then I think I just walked faster.
run away.
Mhm.
I think that was all of my. I think that was my last note.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Now we're gonna go talk about something crazy.
I like that word. Like here's the crazy movie. After we watched the Gimp sleeping is a line in the other movie.
No, don't wake him.
You
He's
better go
sleeping.
wake him up.
He like opens his like big
Yeah.
wood box. You hear all the trays getting rattled around.
Yeah, but you're not going to believe what Adam Sandler finds on the street.
Right? I okay. I also have not watched this movie probably since I got it.
Yeah.
And I remember really liking this movie, but I think it's one of those movies you don't just like sit on a Saturday afternoon and put on. Like it's not that kind of thing. But I really like this movie.
Yeah, so I saw it when it came out on DVD. So I would have been probably around the same age as I saw Pulp Fiction. So probably around 15. I think I probably saw it in 2003.
Okay.
And I probably liked it at the time because I was supposed to,
Okay.
because it was like a cool movie. Like I wanted to like cool movies, so I probably liked it because, you know, but you know, as a mentally ill child, I didn't really get it. As a mentally ill adult, I super get it. And now I was like, oh, this is great. This is a really delightful, sweet movie. I really liked it this time around.
Yeah. So there's on the back of the box, there's this quote where it says, "Punch-Drunk love leaves you addled, a little dizzy, and overcome by a pleasing, unplaceable sensation." And this is the best review of a movie I've ever read, because that is correct.
Mm-hmm.
That is simply correct. That unplaceable, like pleasing, unplaceable, like sensation. Like I finished watching the movie and I was like, I'm feeling good. Like,
Yeah, it's a really nice movie.
Yeah.
And like there's moments of catharsis in it that make you feel real good.
Mm-hmm.
There's moments at the beginning that are so uncomfortable, and like it manipulates you in such an incredible way
An
that you
intense
really
way.
feel it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to like figure out what it was. Like that's really what I spent the movie trying to do, is like, how is this making me feel so weird and bad?
Yeah.
And I think, especially at the beginning, anytime someone talks to him, the rhythm is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is
they're
slightly too fast. Yeah, everyone responds a little too quickly to what he says, which is so jarring, and
also,
it makes you so uncomfortable.
Yeah, but also doesn't let him talk as well. Like they'll ask him a question, but never give him time to answer the question, and then insult him for not answering the question fast enough when you haven't given him time to answer the question. And you're just like, holy shit, can you just be less intense and attacking me right now? Like this is a lot that's going on. And his sisters are the worst.
Yeah.
They're the worst people. But also I find it funny that they're exactly what family would be. And at the end, when the girlfriend is trying to make like offhanded comments because the sister's trying to like make excuses for the brother, and she's like, what did she say? She's like, oh yeah, he's really weird or something. She's like, no, he's not weird. You can't say that.
Yeah.
And I was the sister is still going to defend him.
I'm allowed to think that. You're not allowed to say that. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's what family is.
Well, I think
or siblings at least.
I think this movie, like Pulp Fiction, is very much through the lens of somebody else other than us. So like Pulp Fiction is very much through the eye of the person that wrote it and made it, through the lens of previous cinema. I think that what we're watching in Punch-Drunk Love is very much through the lens of Barry, of Adam Sandler's character. So like the opening is complete nonsense, like anxiety nightmare, right? Like it doesn't, like his steps out, he witnesses a horrific car crash, and then somebody drops off a harmonium on the street, and then he runs away. Like it seems like a David Lynch doing a comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my first comment is I don't remember that part of this movie.
Yeah.
That's my first comment.
Well, I remember the harmonium because that's
Mm.
the only way I know what that
Yes.
is from that movie. I don't remember the car crash. Nobody else ever mentions the car crash
Nope. You never.
throughout the whole movie.
There's no point where you hear sirens. There's no point where he looks up the street to see what happened. You know, like the girl pulls in with her car like 2 minutes later, and you're just like, okay, nobody's gonna acknowledge this thing.
Yeah.
All right.
There's still glass all over the ground. She
Yeah.
does mention though, like when she's in his office later and like the warehouse guys drop something,
Mm-hmm.
she like goes like, "Hey, is everything okay?" Like she's kind of the only one that acknowledges a disaster happening, which I think is interesting. Because like she is sort of a soothing thing, and the rhythm is not off with her.
No,
like,
and I think
their conversations are naturalistic.
I think that's one of the reasons why you understand how they get together and kind of become obsessed with each other so quickly, is because immediately, she speaks normally to him and waits for him to answer, and has like actually talks to him and tries to understand what he's saying, compared to everybody else who seems to treat him like he's an invalid of some sort and just doesn't know anything. And I think because of that, he realizes her beauty immediately because he's already found somebody who can see him as who he is,
or is actually like trying to listen to him and understand him.
Yes.
No, it's great. And my lady friend watched this one with me as well. And she pointed out something cool, which is when in the scene with all the sisters at dinner, when he smashes all the windows, and there's a picture of him on the wall. First of all, there's two walls. He's on one, and all the sisters are on the other side, which is interesting. She's on the opposite side of the frame.
Oh, I didn't notice any of that. Okay, yeah.
And in the picture, he's wearing the suit.
The same suit he's wearing?
The same suit. Okay. Which is odd, right? Because they keep commenting on that fucking suit he's wearing. I hate that fucking suit. So weird. First of all, it's a great suit. He looks great in that suit.
I think it's a great suit. I'm like,
great suit.
Maybe it's because they equate it to whenever that picture was taken and something weird happened that day. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, like she mentions that it's new, kind of. Like she asks him where you got it and all that kind of stuff. So like it doesn't quite work within the reality, but like I think that the suit, I Googled this, so like this isn't my own thought. The suit is like the blue stuff apparently represents his emotional state.
Okay.
So like there's a lot of flashes of blue, like a lot of blue lens flares that come in and stuff too. Apparently it's his emotional state coming up. She's also always red.
Okay,
which is interesting too, which I think is supposed to be like a passion, love kind of stuff. So, but yeah, no, I think that it's supposed to be that like A, he's separate from everybody else, and B, he's sort of always like this. This is just how he is. This isn't something that's like a new thing. That like he's just always sort of been in that state.
Yeah, but Luis Guzmán also asked him what's with the suit as well. But also he's the one character that's also on his level.
Yeah.
But like they talk normally to each other compared to like everyone else. Yeah.
It's a little punchy with Luis Guzmán. I love Luis Guzmán too. He's another one that's like if he shows up in something, I'm instantly delighted. He makes things better as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was in Poker Face recently, and he was fun in that. The Natasha Lyonne show, where she's doing Columbo essentially.
I've never seen that.
It's good. It's new.
The last thing I saw her in was Russian Doll.
Yeah, it's sort of like an offshoot of that. Like not an offshoot, but like a similar, like she's in charge and like has all kinds of like it's her vehicle.
Oh, I should check this one out. No, I really liked Russian Doll the first season, and then the second season I could not get into it. But I also really like her as like an actress and a person in general.
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah. Like
she's really fun in this. If you like her, you should definitely watch it. She's doing a lot of her fun stuff.
I suddenly can't remember the first movie I saw her in. It was like this really weird little movie.
Is it the one that got rated NC-17? Because there is one.
Um,
Which is
oh, that's
But
way
I'm a
before me.
cheerleader. She was in that one and it got nominated. Sorry, it got rated NC-17 for just being about lesbians.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh God, no! I saw that movie. Nothing happens in that movie.
No, it is so tame.
It's very tame. No, the movie I saw her in first was Slums of Beverly Hills.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one. That's
Yeah,
Amy Heckerling. Yeah.
yeah. And the first time I saw it, I was like, I love this movie. It's so weird and
Hmm.
it's so slice of life,
Hmm.
but also like in like a weird warped funhouse window slice
Hmm.
of life kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
there's a
it's
skew
just
to it.
interesting. Yeah, there's a
It's
definite skew
very
to it.
90s Gen X-y.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I watched that movie way too young. I remember that. But I still remember sitting there going like this made me uncomfortable, but also I really liked it and I don't know why.
Yeah. I think I watched
Uh
it with my parents when I was like 27.
oh my god, no, why?
I didn't think it was
No.
that bad. I don't think that
Really?
one was that uncomfortable.
Okay.
I know. I don't think there was that much like sex stuff in it, was it?
It's
Mm.
not, but it's not just like sex stuff. It's just general. Like, there's the part where her brother is practicing to be in like for like an audition, and he starts singing like a Sinatra song, but
Uh-huh.
for some reason he's singing in his underwear, but it's ill-fitting underwear, and it's just like, and he's weirdly sweaty doing this
I think you're just
thing.
describing me at my parents' house.
So what you're just saying, like, oh look, it's me, I'm on
Yeah, no,
TV.
I don't know what the problem is. This seems like something that would be totally fine to watch with my parents.
I don't know. I just
Sweaty and ill-fitting underwear. It sounds pretty much, it's my
yeah,
whole
I mean,
oeuvre.
it took me years to find the movie again because I couldn't remember what it's called, and then it was like showed up on TV again. I'm like, this is the movie, and as an appropriate age to watch it, and I was like, oh, I like it because of this, and this.
Yeah.
So yes, that was the first thing I saw her, and then she showed up in American Pie, and I was like, oh, it's her. And then yeah, I saw
Mhm.
other things. I even saw Detroit Rock City, and but I'm a
She was in
cheerleader.
Detroit Rock City? I don't remember that.
Apparently she played Christine. I also don't remember that.
Mm,
I just remember the lady yelling about being knights in Satan's service, like outside
right.
the concert hall. Yeah, but yeah,
Yep.
I've apparently scrolling through this, I have seen a lot of her movies. Surprisingly,
Hmm. Just as a side note, Kiss sucks. Just wanted to have that on the record somewhere so everyone knows.
just
Kiss
out
sucks.
there.
Yeah.
I'm not the hugest fan, but they got a couple of songs that I can't help but like bop my head to when it comes on.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a
Just
thing.
I just wanted to be clear, it's on the record. I know a lot of people have been asking about it, what my
So many
opinion of Kiss
questions.
is.
So
Um,
what do you think about Twisted Sister? Hmm.
well, I feel the noise, so
Oh,
I'm good. I'm good with Twisted
yeah.
Sister. Dee
Yeah.
Snider's so huge and weird that like
He's
I'm on board.
he's such a giant man. Like,
Yeah,
what is
and
this?
like basically a giant man in drag, like singing rock songs in the 80s. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Isn't that like
Um,
half the like hair bands in the 80s?
yeah,
Aren't they like just
I
doing some
think they
drag
did it the
singing?
most. I mean,
Yeah.
that's at least my memory of it.
Okay.
Granted, tomorrow there'll be a story about how horrible Dee Snider is because everybody in the 80s was horrible. So I'm not going to go on the record going on and on about it. So
Yeah. Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes
yeah,
sense. So just roll back on it. Just roll back.
yeah.
You're fine. You're fine.
Somebody told me the
Um,
other day that there's allegations against people in Motley Crue, and I'm like, yeah,
yeah, isn't
but
that
I
just
thought we knew that
knowledge?
already.
Yeah.
Like it would be surprising if somebody came up to me and was like, you know who came out squeaky clean? Motley Crue.
You'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
that
we
would be
know that
confusing.
they're bad by their own admission.
Didn't they also sing songs about how bad they were? Like,
Yeah,
wasn't
I
that like the
think
whole thing?
so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So all right. Hair bands done.
Yep.
I don't even
No
know how we got there.
harmoniums in any of those bands.
Horrible.
No
Also,
harmoniums.
I had never heard of a harmonium until this movie, so it was fine.
It's a cool instrument. It has bellows.
It does have bellows. But I didn't. But there's like organs and stuff that have bellows.
Yeah,
So I'd never seen. It's very tiny. It looks like something a monkey would play in the circus.
I love how many times people say it's not a piano in this movie.
Yes.
It's a really good like running joke. It's not a piano. So good. But like also like the opening scene, he's not even in his office. Right? Like there is definitely like a weird dream logic to a lot of this movie.
No, he's at the
He's
office,
at
like
the office.
space.
He's not
Yeah.
in his office though. He's in like a
No.
corner with a desk in it. Just like
Yes,
an
which I
empty
thought was
corner.
weird, and just calling about those
The
freaking
frequent
flyer
the
miles.
flyer mile things, which I think
Yeah,
is a real thing that somebody did.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first time I watched this movie, hearing his plan, it filled me with dread because I went, that's not going to work. Like
Uh-huh.
he's gonna have like ruined himself buying pudding because um sorry. Because he thought that this would work and it's obviously not going to because they'll just be like because my experience with trying to like get around the system is they'll just be like, no. And I'm like, but it doesn't say that in your regulations. They're like, yeah, you're right. No.
Yeah, but that's also why like fine print gets longer and longer and longer
Yeah.
every time they have a concept like that to like
Hmm.
cover that stuff up. Because, for example, like back in the 70s, they did this on The Simpsons. Back in the 70s, they didn't have like you can win between this day and this day. It was just like you could win.
Yeah.
Beep. You know, and so technically, if
It's like
somebody
that
did
Pepsi
find
guy.
something like 40 years later, it'd be like, there's no dates on this. I win. Thank you. Give me the thingy.
Well, I think there was
Um,
a Netflix documentary about the guy that tried to get a jet from Pepsi.
a jet from Pepsi?
Yeah, because on one of their commercials, they said you can get if you get like 1 billion Pepsi points, you can get a jet. And the guy was like, "Here's 1 billion Pepsi points, give me a jet." And they're like,
Yeah.
"No."
But no, but if that's the rules of the contest and you
It
have video evidence.
This lawsuit went on for years.
Oh my God.
Like they made a documentary about
Did he win or was there
I
like at least a
I
good
don't
settlement?
I don't think I saw the whole I don't think
Oh
I
my
saw the
God.
movie. I
I
think I
swear to
just
God,
know
I
the story.
think the most Pepsi points I ever got was like 10. I
Yeah.
like yeah.
Oh, I can almost buy him frisbee. Ooh.
But then you have to like have postage to send it to here to then to send you back to Frisbee like 6 months later.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. The funny thing is actually like last year I actually participated in one of these. It was like a general men's you could get like a beach towel if you get like
Uh-huh.
4 things. Oh, I fucking did it.
Oh,
I
I'm
got me the
considering
beach
getting a
towel.
frisbee from boxes of cereal like very soon. That is it is in my head that I'm like I think I'm gonna get a free frisbee.
Yeah. The funny, it's one of those things too. I had for it the 6 to 8 weeks is a long time.
That
And
is a
I
long time.
honestly forgot that I did this. And then this package showed up with it. I was like, what the fuck is this? I opened it, I was like, it's a fucking towel. It's the towel. I don't
Um,
know.
I love any time in this movie. He has a pallet of puddings just like on his desk, like on a table outside his office.
Yeah.
And anytime somebody asks him about it, he's like, "Oh, that's for something else."
I don't know why he doesn't be like, here, have pudding. Just give me the top. Like,
It's because yeah, he has this weird. I mean, I totally understand this person now. Like he has a very like strong social anxiety disorder, right? That's
mhm.
sort of what it is. And I understand like when you're into something sometimes and you have an idea in your head and somebody asks you about it, you feel really stupid explaining it.
Yeah, but based on the interaction that you see before that with his sisters, you understand why that was developed.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally understand because I would feel the same way. Like,
Hmm.
oh, that's just this thing I'm doing.
Hmm.
Like, because it sounds dumb, and I know it sounds dumb, and he knows it sounds dumb, so he's just not gonna explain it, and it just always just like brushes off this like 300 packets of pudding.
Yeah. Also, he could just really like pudding. Pudding's delicious,
Yeah.
guys.
I mean, that's it. Like, he also doesn't he specify at one point that it's not for sale? It's not a sale item.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not a sin item. Yeah. He does.
uh, he's
It's so
pretty
good.
funny in this movie, even though he's playing like a very
Yeah,
sad character.
he does. You know, this is one of those movies where, um, like it's one of the earlier movies where I realized all comedians at some point in their time have to do a serious role and they're always really good at it.
Hmm.
Right? because he did this, and then Will Ferrell did Stranger Than Fiction, and then you go back and you watch like Steve
Robin
Martin's,
Williams movies.
yeah, like Robin Williams, or like you watch like Parenthood from like Steve Martin or Shop Girl, which I read the book. Oh, I forgot about that one. Anyways, that's a different story. But like Shop Girl and stuff like that, like Steve Martin's writing is like his fiction writing, that is phenomenal. Like I have read his fiction books and they are great.
I read his memoir. It's also good.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's clearly like a wordsmith,
He's a
but
smart dude.
he also is able to like create these sad but wonderful characters in all of his world, and I think, like we were talking before about like the Oscars, is I think comedians deserve an Oscar because to make someone laugh, you have to understand how emotions work and how to, even if it's like a sad topic or a weird topic that you're talking about, you have to know how to push that button to make someone laugh instead of cry, which can be very, very difficult to do. And I think that's why when comedians decide to do a serious role, they end up doing it so well because they already know intrinsically how to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's part of what makes them funny, is the thing that makes them good at being these like serious, broken people. But also apparently comedians are some of the saddest people in the world. So there's also that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that anytime a movie makes you elicit a physical response, like any kind of physical response, that's a magic trick.
It is,
right?
yeah.
Because it's like, why do I care? It's a screen. I know it's all fake. Like, why am I reacting in any way? Like, this is somebody trying to manipulate me, but it does it. And like laughing, crying, any of that stuff, like that's difficult to do. Like it's cool. And like that's why I was sort of like fascinated by, especially at the beginning of this movie. I was like, why am I so uncomfortable by this movie? And like partly it's the soundtrack. Like when like all these elements are coming at him at once, like that's also something that happens a lot in this movie, that like everything is happening at the same time, and like that's anxiety inducing. But like the score introduces new elements anytime there's a new thing that's happening to him. Like his another sister walks in, so now there's like a like there's another like off kilter weird song playing like underneath the song that's already playing, and it adds more tension and weirdness to it. That's really neat. Like that, but like it doesn't really make sense that that's going to make me do it, but it does.
Yeah, it really does like hit a certain, like I said, it hits a button, right?
Yeah.
But also I think, especially like Paul Thomas Anderson, he uses sound and music in a very specific way. So I find one thing I found about this movie is there's a lot. It kind of reminds me of movies from the 60s where it's like it's mostly like no music, no like sound in the background. And then of course when the music comes in, it's just this like hyper loudness so that you hear it. It's part of it. It's not a soundtrack. It's like, no, this sound is a character in this thing, and with the harmonium, which he introduced, like with the harmonium, he introduces the sound that's gonna be the sound that's the character. And then, but most of the time, like the first like about like 10 minutes of it, 5 to 10 minutes of it, there's no audio sound. And then all of a sudden the sisters start calling, and then that's when that kind of stuff starts kicking in afterwards. And you're just like, wow.
He also does a weird thing with like sound effects. Unless it was just like, unless I just watched like a really weird print. But like a lot of the sound effects came in slightly late. Did you notice that too? Like the car crash at the beginning, there's an impact, then sound comes in. Like it seemed like it was just slightly off. So unless my setup was completely wrong, but I was like, oh, that's weird and off kilter too.
I did not notice that. But I also do realize the Foley in this movie is louder than most movies. So like, people's footsteps or people in the background putting things in boxes, people whispering and all this kind of stuff just seems louder than how they would have it in other films. So like it makes you kind of more feel like you're there in that space with them than just hearing somebody walk. You're like, no, I'm in the hallway and this person is coming towards me.
Well, that's overwhelming too.
It can be, yes.
Yeah.
And I guess, I think it's from his point of view, and I think he finds the world overwhelming. So I think that is the thing that helps us understand his character subliminally without us even knowing.
We're being put in an uncomfortable position that he feels like he's in all the time.
Yes.
Which is that's a great trick. I think that like that is really impressive to me from a viewer's point of view. Like, oh, I feel uncomfortable like he does. That's really good.
Yeah. And it's explained to us pretty quickly. Like when he's asking the brother-in-law for about a therapist or whatever, and he's like, sometimes I hate myself, and he just starts crying. Or he's like, I can't stop crying or whatever. And you're just like, oh, this is what we're in for. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And that's Robert Smigel.
Oh yes, the brother-in-law. I didn't know what his name is, but I recognize his face. I'm like, I know you from things.
It's Triumph the Insult Comic Dog.
Is that who it is?
That's Triumph the Insult Comic Dog is him. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. 100%.
That's not who I thought it was then.
Yeah, it's Triumph.
No.
It's Conan's writing partner. Yeah.
That is not who I thought it was then.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Okay. I was picturing something completely.
Were you thinking of the
different.
Ghostbuster?
No, not
Harold
a Ghostbuster.
Ramis. Kind of looks like him. Kind of looks like him a bit.
Not Harold.
Like late Harold Ramis.
I knew it wasn't Harold Ramis. I don't know what I was picturing, but for some reason that is not the face that popped into my head.
But I mean, like even that guy fucks him over, right? He says, "Don't tell my sister," and he tells his sister immediately. Like the world is out to get him, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so A, yes, it's an asshole thing that he does, but also B, it's the guy's wife. He's gonna tell his wife.
Oh yeah, no, I probably would too.
Yeah, so that's all I thought.
If my wife's but I don't have a wife. My secret wife. If she if her brother came to me and said that he's having real problems, I'd probably like, hey, your brother need some help. He's I probably would throw that by, but maybe not. I don't know. Depends.
Yeah, I have a feeling he would have said it not in like a gossipy, like, oh my god, you won't believe what your brother told me.
Yeah.
I think he's like, hey, I think your brother needs like some help or something because he seems to be having a hard time, blah, blah, blah. Because he asked me for a therapist. And then she was just like, did you ask my husband for a therapist? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, that's just such an aggressive and mean way to handle that whole situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think that the world is set up against him in this movie. Like just like everything, like he calls a sex chat line, right? Which
that whole thing.
By the way, oh my god. That is just a nightmare and a half. But like that's so innocent. Like no one cares. Like the fact that everyone calls him a pervert, like that Philip Seymour Hoffman keeps calling him a pervert over and over again. I'm just like, you think that's what a pervert is?
You know?
But like a guy that calls a line that's designed to have dirty phone calls with, and his dirty phone call was like, she kept saying, "Are you jerking off?" And he's like, "No, I'm not. I'm talking to you." Like it's very sweet.
The thing is, at that point, is like I don't even think he was looking for like a sex line. I clearly don't think that's what he wanted to do, and he just finally did it because she kept saying it.
Yeah.
But he just wanted somebody to talk to because he was sad and he was lonely, and he just wanted to talk to somebody, and she wouldn't get off of this. So I think that's why when they started calling him pervert, I was like, A, he's not, and B, you guys are the ones that are actually like you're literally perverting this thing, you know? So it was just like, what? Oh my god. Yeah. It went from 0 to 100 very quickly.
It's a nightmare. Like that's what like most of this movie is, an existential nightmare. Like it is, everything is out to get him, and he is right to be paranoid because everybody seems to be out to get him.
Yeah.
Except for one person.
Yeah, and that's the person who he falls in love with immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. Their relationship is very sweet.
It's filled with a lot of cute aggression, which is very intense and strange because I remember when I first watched this, I was just like, that makes me really uncomfortable. But now I understand what cute aggression is, and I was like, oh, it's just cute aggression, and they're just saying it out loud instead of keeping it in their head.
I love your face so much that I want to smash it with a brick. That's not something that you normally say. Oh, okay.
Not out loud. No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I want to eat your face. I think that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
I want to say
or it's like I want to like
new.
smush it. Like I want to smush your face or something. Yes, but yeah, I want to hit it with a brick. No. Or at least I'll like keep that to myself, definitely, because I'll be like, oh god, they're gonna think I'm weird if I say I want to hit it with a brick.
The scene after he smashes up the bathroom, or the maitre d talks to him,
so uncomfortable,
and says, "It makes me no." It is uncomfortable, but it also makes me laugh. It's really funny to me.
It's very funny
because it's just like, no, I did not do that. Then who did? I don't know. Your hand's bleeding. Yeah, I cut it. What did you cut it on? On a knife? It's just like so funny. It's so good when someone's obviously lying, and they just, but like everything they're saying is plausible.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what's so great about it.
They're like, no, but like I know you did it. You're like, no, it just somebody else did it.
It's the equivalent of Shaggy's "It wasn't me."
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. At least you didn't get it on camera, so that's fine. Yeah. But yeah, like his outbursts are like, I mean, he's obviously been like overly oppressed with like his emotional outlets, and clearly from his sisters and maybe his parents as well, who we don't get to meet, so I can't really make that for sure. But yeah, his outbursts when things go overboard are intense.
Yeah. I think the movie does a really good job of kind of showing what a panic attack looks like. I mean, he's having like, it builds up. I mean, I guess it's an anxiety attack. But like, I've also been watching Ted Lasso. And that also does a really good job of showing what an anxiety or a panic attack looks like. Like it does so with like sound more than it does with this one. But they both have like a really interesting like build up to release, and this movie releases in violence. Yes.
And like one good thing about it is that you've never, despite the fact that his outbursts are very intense, you never feel like he is the type of person who would hit someone else, except for Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. You're like, no, he would hit that guy.
Yeah.
But that's because he like hurt this, in his mind, this perfect being that is wonderful to him. But you never feel like he would endanger anybody else.
No.
Without being like attacked first. Like when those brothers attack him and he's just like, I am defending myself and she's bleeding. Yeah. Let's go.
Well, he sees red, right? Yeah. Like he sees, and that and as soon as that ended, I turned to my lady friend, and she hates it when I say that. My girlfriend, I enjoy saying lady friend because girlfriend seems weird. But anyway, sorry, Natasha. But I turned to her and said, that felt real good though, right? She's like, yeah. Like there was like the catharsis of him. I mean, he killed them, essentially. Like, and I don't think in the context of the movie he killed them, but you can't hit a person with a tire iron and they'd be okay afterwards.
No, they're definitely not okay. Definitely not.
So, but like, it felt real good when he smacked those dudes, though. Like,
it really did.
No, you're just like, yes, finally. Like, because he gets fucked over so many times in this movie, and like, you really feel for him. And it's like certain parts of The Sopranos, when you like want Tony to go off on somebody, like it builds up so well. They're like, oh, I really want Tony to get that guy. Oh, that guy's the worst. And you're like, you don't really want to root for this violent criminal to like murder somebody, but you're like, oh, that'd be really good to see though. That guy just really deserves it.
Yeah. You're just referencing things I haven't watched yet. So I'm like,
oh,
I'm just nodding.
Sorry. I didn't go into specifics.
I shouldn't say yet. I'm not gonna watch Sopranos. That's not.
It's good stuff.
I know. It's on the same level as Wired with me.
Yeah.
I'm just not watching it. Sorry, The Wire. I'm just not watching it to just piss people off at this point. So it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not finish The Wire. I think I
Mhm.
have 2 seasons to go on it.
Isn't it only 3
From like
seasons?
it's 5.
Oh. Oh yeah, I'm probably yes.
Yeah. I mean, The Sopranos is like 6, I think. So like that would be harder for you to get through, but The Sopranos is great though. I'd really recommend that one.
Mhm.
It's pretty. I mean, like especially because of all the things we've been talking about. It really has its DNA in those kind of things. Like these kind of going deeper into the psychology of somebody that we wouldn't really like very much.
Yeah.
And kind of showing them in a different way.
You know what's really funny? So while The Sopranos was on, I hadn't watched it, and I watched a movie that nobody else seemed to have watched called The Mexican.
Uh-huh.
It's Julia Roberts and Brad Pitt
Brad Pitt.
and James Gandolfini.
Yes.
Oh, so you have watched this?
I've seen it, yeah.
Good. You're literally the first person I've ever met
That's where I learned that bullets
personally
come
know.
back down when you
Bullets
shoot them in
come
the
back
air.
down. I have always wondered that because they show that in movies all the time, and nobody shows bullets coming back down. So I was just
Yep.
like, okay, so gravity does exist in these worlds. Okay, done. But like James Gandolfini in that movie sort of plays a gay version of Soprano. What's his first name in that movie?
Tony
Tony, yeah,
Soprano.
yeah.
Hey,
he plays like a gay version of Tony. So like he's like a hitman. He's gonna try and kill them. And then you're like, oh, but you're not a bad guy. You're just lonely. We'll help you find somebody. Blah blah blah. And then he dies. Fine. But you're just like, I was like, oh, I like James Gandolfini. He's pretty good. I get why people like him.
He's good.
And then that was it. That's all I got. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else. I don't think
did you see In the Loop? That's a fun one. I would recommend that one if you hadn't seen it.
Let's see. In the Loop. Who's in that one?
James Gandolfini, and I think a lot of the cast of the TV show In the Loop. No, not In the Loop. What's it called? Oh no, what's it called? It's the guy that did Veep, Armando Iannucci.
There's Peter Capaldi and Tom Hollander.
So Peter Capaldi was in the original show. So this is like In the Loop is sort of the sequel to the show, which is like a similar to Veep, like political, like.
Oh, is this the one where he swears all the time?
Yes, he says the C word over and over again.
Constantly, right? Yes. Yeah. Okay, I've heard it. This is actually a show that's on my list to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the sequel movie is called In the Loop, and that's with James Gandolfini.
Okay. Yeah, I would watch this.
It's good.
Yeah. And there was that other movie that he did with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I saw that one where she's a massage therapist. Oh Christ!
Oh, I don't know that one at all.
I'm not gonna remember it. It's one of those like older love stories. So it's like, it's called Enough Said. Okay. So it's kind of like quiet. It's kind of sweet. It's funny. It's,
it's an odd pairing.
Yeah,
I would not really put those two together. Yeah,
but they seem quite nice and quite pleasant in it. It's nice. Mm-hmm. There's the thing about there's nothing to write home about the movie. It's just like
he's sponge-worthy,
nice, pleasant. Within the movie, apparently he is.
Oh, okay.
So
yes. I need to know that about all of Julia Louis-Dreyfus's romantic partners. Are they sponge-worthy?
Is he sponge-worthy? That is. I mean, that's a legit question at this point. I mean, I think Elaine would have run out of sponges by now. She only got like 2 boxes. Oh no, she's in jail, so it's fine.
No, I think she was only in jail for like a year.
Oh, that's true. It's only like a year. So then, yeah, okay.
That's fine. So I mean that it's on her Tinder profile that she requires sponge-worthy applicants only. That's the modern Seinfeld take?
I have 6 sponges left. Please be worthy of these.
6 sponges left.
2 days later, I have 5 sponges left. Please be sponge-worthy.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we went to somewhere gross, even though we're talking about a cute movie.
A lot of it's in Hawaii.
Quite a bit of it's in Hawaii. but we don't get to see outside Hawaii. We get to see inside a hotel room and sunshine coming through Hawaii. Even though I think it's hilarious that he called from a payphone during a parade. It's like, what? Why is this the place you picked to make this phone call?
I kind of didn't put it together how odd that is, but that's really funny because it's the worst possible place. Like, you could have chosen anywhere else. Like, he must have passed other payphones at the airport.
Exactly. And I'm like, but why here? You would have had like to fight through a crowd to get to it. And then you're just like yelling into this phone in public.
When
like,
he calls his sister and she goes, "Where are you calling from?" And he goes, "My office."
That is true. He does make a lot of excuses for himself.
Yeah.
But then he also later on is like, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is what happened. Okay.
Yeah. No, he confesses it all, and she understands it, and it's very sweet when he does that. And it's also a relief to us, right? Because that's another catharsis for us, because we're like, oh, he's been lying to her the whole time. That's going to come back to bite him. And then he admits it and is apologetic, and then it's okay. So like it really is it's a relief from a love story point of view, right? Because that's always the tension in these, right? That he's lying. And
it is, yeah. And how are you going to keep up this lie? And if you keep it up too long, how hurt will they be when they find out the truth about it? Blah blah blah. You know. But I think because he has that moment where he finally tells the truth, he won't lie within the confines of that relationship specifically anymore. Like he's just gonna be like, I'm doing a weird thing because of this, and she'll be like, oh, okay,
yeah,
that's it. That's all it's gonna be.
No, I mean, when he says like, I didn't have business here, I came to see you, like, that's very sweet. Like, it's a very touching moment and very romantic. And all the French Paris music swells and all that kind of stuff. It's great.
I mean, I know there are some people who'd be like, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah,
like, that's creepy.
Oh, it probably is.
Yeah, but I guess if it's also something that you want, it's romantic. If it's something that you don't want, you'd be like, oh my god, I have a stalker. Get away from me. Oh my god, yes.
Nope, that's the rub. That's the terror, right? I mean, but that also shows that, like, because anybody else in the world, in this world of the movie, would be against it, like, would think he's weird and creepy. But she is different from everybody else. Yes,
yeah. But I also think it might be the fact that she's probably really weird too, and she's been hiding it from people.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, I think she wants to be needed. I think that's what it is, and that's sort of what Paul Thomas Anderson started doing later, like especially with Phantom Thread. Phantom Thread is all about like
his obsession,
but also like her turning him into a child so that she can nurse him back to health, and that's where the love is between them.
Yeah.
So like that, it seems like a similar situation to that, but not in this movie. It doesn't have it as a destructive cycle, but as actually one of healing and being better.
Yeah, and there's also the song that like just like a nose, you know. I did end up singing, like, humming that song for the rest of the night though. So it was the whole thing. Yeah.
I think something I really laughed at when they were in Hawaii, because they have dinner outside, and there's like a singer singing, and at one point he goes, "It really looks like Hawaii here."
Yes.
Because I know what he's talking about. Like, I know what he means. Like, it really looks like what I think Hawaii looks like. But it's such a funny thing when you're in Hawaii to say, man, it really looks like Hawaii here.
Yeah, that reminds me of like, oh god, why did I? Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I remember when I went to Japan. And
have we talked about that before?
I think maybe we did.
Yes,
but this is just coming up again because it just is relevant to this. And I went to Japan. I got off the plane. My first thought was like, "There's a lot of Asian people here." That was my first thought. It was, and I don't know. You know?
Man, Asia's weird. There's a lot of Asians.
Yes, that's just what happened. But I also think it's because we live in Canada that has a whole bunch of, any place you're at, there's very rarely one type of person. There's not always all black people or all white people or all, well, there's a lot of white people. You know, but like you have to go to specific places to see those groups. But if you just go outside, you're like, there's a mix of different like colors and
Well, I
stuff
mean,
going
if you
on.
had gotten off the plane in Japan and be like, man, there's a lot of black people here, that would have been of note. Like that would have been something to be like, man, what's going on?
You gotta go to Roppongi for that. There's a lot of Africans over there. There's a
Oh,
lot of black
really?
people over there. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was
Interesting.
yeah. Well, went there and it was just like, why are there so many black people here? Ooh, weird. That was also my thought. It's fine.
I just gotten used to all the Asian people.
Right. Yeah. No, but it's sometimes these weird thoughts.
Yeah.
Just pop in there, and and sometimes like me and like this character, you say them out loud for no reason.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I repeated it on tape.
I mean, that's a great story. It's funny. It makes me laugh.
No, second story that made you laugh today. Nice.
Second one, yeah.
I'm killing it.
Yeah. I was at McDonald's on 9/11. Okay.
Wow. All right.
I ordered a Whopper between building 1 and building 2 going down.
You were at McDonald's. How are you having a Whopper? Crazy.
I ordered wrong. They made fun of me.
They're like, sir. I don't know. I wasn't going anywhere with that. It's fine. I wrote down a comment called there are people who make a living like that.
People who make a living like that. Is it about the flyer mile stuff?
There are people who professionally win contests, collect points, and all that kind of stuff. And like they do things like win houses and go to concerts and win 50 grand and whatever. And that's literally how they make their living. Yeah.
I am fascinated by those people. I've heard of those people too, and I find it amazing. Same with like the extreme coupon people.
Yes. Oh my God.
I know it's a sickness. Like 100% this is someone's mental illness. But it also makes like the cheapo in me goes, well, that's interesting.
They're like, what? You got $300 worth of stuff and now the grocery store owes you 30 cents?
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yes.
Right? Like there's some like it's the same with like sometimes like people are incredible at math. Like it's like one of those, right? Where like there's that guy that beat the lottery system. They made a movie with Bryan Cranston. Like that dude just beat the system. Right? He wasn't really cheating. He just like figured out a way to do it.
Yeah.
And like won a bunch of money. Like that stuff's incredible to me. Just like somebody like found a way to like beat the system.
But my thing, like I feel like this is the same as like when I watch a heist movie and stuff. I think to myself, isn't it just easier to get a job? Like that seems like a lot of effort and a lot of like work. And like yes, you get good payoffs, but how long do those payoffs last and how often do you have to do? Because like there are people who have like they want to call in like radio contests is their thing. They got like 35 phones at home, somebody's sitting by a radio constantly, and each one of their phones is dialing when the song comes on or the cue comes on or whatever. And you're just like, yeah, but this is to win, I don't know, a trip to the Bahamas, which is great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how much are you paying for all these phones? Like how much time did it take you to win this? Blah blah blah. What is how much are you getting paid per hour if you win this thing? Essentially is what I'm getting at. Like what would be easier?
Well, yeah, I think that's what's fascinating to me about it, because it's obviously a self-destructive thing. Like this, like their brains are getting off on the thrill of it, right? Like they won, like the bells and whistles go off and they get the endorphin hit. Like that's the thing,
gambling,
right? Yeah, it's gambling. So I like but that's what's fascinating to me about it is like it's self-destructive and I know this is bad for them, but they keep winning, and they're able to sustain it. And like I find that to be fascinating because it's against my worldview. Like it should be that like this person's doing something that they shouldn't be doing that's bad for their health. They should be like failing and doing worse and have to like do what I do and get a real job and pay taxes and all that kind of stuff. But I'm fascinated when it's just like, no, that guy's a millionaire.
Yeah.
And he got it from doing scratchers. Like,
what?
Yeah.
No, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first time when they opened like Woodbine Casino for the first time, and my friends were like, "Oh my god, it's so amazing to go to a casino, blah blah blah." So they finally talked me into going one day, and their thing was slot machines. We went to a slot machine, put in a quarter, pulled the thing, and I was like, is that it?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
keep doing it." I'm like, "Quarter, pull the thing." I'm like, "Is this what we're doing for the evening?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna put another quarter, pull the thing. Ooh, won $5. Like, can I go now? Was my
Yeah.
only thought. Like this to me was just like a waste of time and a waste of money. Even though I think I came out up like $40 that night, I
Pretty
was still
good.
just like, I was like, I could have been doing something else and been much happier than doing this. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like slots very much. I did get into video poker. I did.
Okay.
And I went up like $200. Like I did pretty
Oh, look at
well.
you. Yeah.
I did pretty well. I mean, then I instead of the money I was going to take to gamble, I went to shows and just gambled off the winnings from the first time, and I
Mm-hmm.
just lost all of it eventually. But that was
Yeah.
sort of like the weekend.
Yeah, but
But
that way you don't technically lose any money, so that's pretty
I
good.
didn't technically lose any money,
Mhm.
so I'm good. But I did sort of be like, oh, I got to be careful with this because I
Yeah.
could totally see like I get why people are into this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I didn't do video poker. I wanted to go to like one of like the actual like tables and play like a game, but they
yeah,
were all like packed that evening,
really
and
expensive.
yeah, and I was just like, no, I don't want to pay $100 for this or $50 or whatever it was.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
low tables are like $10 minimum bet, right?
Yeah.
They're like it's like that's too rich for my blood. I mean,
Yeah.
I was 21, so like I didn't have any money.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I was in the same boat. I think I had like my first job and had like, like I was planning to buy dinner, so I'd pay like $45 with like pasta and one drink or something. Like, that was all I was going for. My friends were like, they were into it. I was like, I don't get it. This is not a good time for me.
Hmm. Do they have
So
free drinks there though?
they had like it was like soda. It wasn't alcohol or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
they give free alcoholic drinks in Vegas.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Vegas is one of those places I'm just like, I don't think I want to go there. Or if I do go there, I'm also going to be bored with this nonsense really quickly.
It's fun. It's I mean beyond I mean I used to go before I was allowed to gamble too. Like I went
Mhm.
with my parents when I was a kid. It's like a big theme park.
Okay.
Like it's like, oh, that house is shaped like the Eiffel Tower. That's weird. Like it's like there's a Paris themed casino, then there's
Yeah.
like one that's just Treasure Island, which is all pirate themed. Like what?
Mhm.
Why this? Yeah, sure. This is for adults. Like it's a it's a pirate themed hotel.
And
That
I'm
hotel
sorry,
has
and
a
the
roller
10-year-old
coaster in it.
and the 10-year-old is not supposed to go in here. What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so like it's there's fun, weird spectacle stuff. Like go see Cirque du Soleil and eat at a buffet that has like thousands of dollars worth of food in it and stuff. Like it's you can do fun stuff.
Maybe one day. One day I'll make it down there just to see all the flashing lights. I probably will just walk around taking pictures of all the lights. That's all
I
that's going
mean,
to
it's
happen.
cool. You can drink outside, just fun. You
Yeah.
can smoke inside and drink outside, so you can do
Oh,
the opposite of what we do.
okay, that sounds horrible. That sounds
It smells like my
legitimately horrible.
childhood. Like it smelled like the mall in 1995.
Well, that reminds me of when I used to go like clubbing and stuff, and in the club you'd be like there all night, and everybody's smoking, and I didn't smoke it, but you'd get home, and I'd literally have to like change my clothes and put my clothes outside for a
Yeah,
day, and then wash them because you can't get that out of the washing machine without permeating the whole house,
yeah.
because it was just so intense. And then they got rid of it, and I was just like, wait, I don't have to put my clothes outside anymore. This is so weird. And now if I'm like walking down the street and somebody's like 2 feet away from me smoking, I'm just like, how dare you? How dare you do this?
It is funny how normal it used to be that people would smoke. Like there was a smoking section at McDonald's.
Yes.
Like people would sit around smoking at McDonald's, and that was a normal thing that happened
Yeah.
before, like in my lifetime. This wasn't even
Yeah.
that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, getting longer ago though. Bleh.
Yes.
Getting fucking old. But yeah, no, it's such a. But if you saw somebody like light up in a restaurant now, you would be guffawed. Like it would
Everybody
just
would be like, "The fuck are
what
you
the hell is
doing?"
that?
Yeah.
Call the police. There is a ill man here.
Be like, "Where do you think you are right now?
Yeah.
Outside? Do you think you're on a sidewalk?" No,
Well,
it's just no.
if I saw somebody like light up at a McDonald's, I would think that that man's looking for a fight. Like I would like that guy has a problem and he
Yeah.
like wants to settle it with somebody and he's
Yeah,
gonna
he's
like be
looking to get
antagonistic.
yelled at and kicked out of here so he can punch
Yeah.
someone in the face. That's what
Yeah.
he wants right now.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember when they were doing like this because smoking sections in restaurants used to just be like people who smoked sat over here and people who didn't smoke sat everywhere else, but there was
Yeah.
never like a partition,
Yeah.
right? And then when they started to like be like, no, you can't smoke inside and stuff, they started putting like walls around the smoking
Yeah.
section, and you'd walk in and you'd see this like foggy area on one side. You're like, are people in there? Yes, they are. And then everybody else was over there. And every time they opened the door, it'd be like a puff of smoke. You know, God. I'm like,
So
how
gross.
would you have? Why would you have sat in there? And then they were finally like, you know what? Just don't smoke inside. Go outside. Go.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense because like it's an airborne thing. If we're worried about secondhand smoke, putting them 3 feet to the right doesn't really do that much.
No, not at all.
So, no,
Yeah.
no. They're at a table over there. You're fine.
Absolutely fine. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Also, that's the one thing. Sorry, Pulp Fiction again. There's a lot of smoking in that movie.
It looks
Yes.
super cool though. Everyone looks super cool and super mature.
Well, that's because
And
Vincent rolled his own cigarettes and stuff, was handing them out to people. It's fine.
my sister does that. I found out like this past weekend. My sister
What?
rolls her own cigarettes. Yeah. And I was like,
Like,
I
does
don't
that?
approve of you smoking, but that's pretty fucking cool.
But does that? Is it because like they're better that way, or like?
Well, I think you just buy tobacco on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So like you would just like buy like instead of I guess you would have less additives and
So
things
it's
because you
so
can
it's
control the ingredients more.
so it's unprocessed cigarettes essentially.
I suppose.
It's
I don't really know. I didn't ask.
it's compared to like making your own hamburger at home compared to going to McDonald's for a hamburger.
I guess. I mean like we know cigarettes have a bunch of garbage in them, right? Like there's
Mm-hmm.
tar and all that kind of stuff. So like I guess if you're smoking just like tobacco, it's probably a lot healthier.
We're gonna put a lot of quotation marks around that. Okay. Yes.
I mean it's healthier than the eating ammonia. So
I'm not gonna say
tar.
no. Not
Yeah.
gonna say no. But yes.
I mean that's like what the like natural cigarettes. That's what they are. They're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be just straight.
Like when you say natural cigarettes, I think of like the people who like do like clove cigarettes or whatever.
Oh, herbal cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what we used to use in movies. Yeah, that is what
Mhm.
they use in movies. So actually, they're probably smoking herbal cigarettes throughout this whole thing.
Yeah. No, but but I'm pretty sure Uma Thurman is a smoker. So why won't they just use regular cigarettes?
Some people do. It is because you have to smoke about 100 of them.
Yeah, because you got to do the scene over and over and over
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
So like usually people don't really smoke. It's like how people don't really eat in movies.
It depends on the movie. There are some movies where they like eat.
Yeah, they regret it.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, I got to eat this like a salad 12 times.
I've heard a lot of stories where people were like newer actors and were like, I'm not gonna do that phony bullshit. I'm gonna eat the spaghetti, and then they just kept having to eat the spaghetti every take, and they're just like, I ate 3 pounds of spaghetti that day.
It's so good.
I ate 4 pies.
Oh,
then I threw up all the pies.
That also reminds me that that Mia was an intense chain smoker and not just a coke addict.
Right.
Because I don't think there's any scene in that movie where, except for the part where she's ODing, where she's not smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. I said, God damn. Another phrase that pops up into my head every once in a while. Her coming up from the mirror in the mirror and going, I said, God damn.
Yes. Huh. She does. It's not cool to make these things look cool, but she makes it look cool and it's annoying.
No, she's filmed like a film noir, like a femme fatale. Like
Mm.
it's definitely like for some reason movies make it look really good. It doesn't look
Yeah.
good in real life. People don't look great smoking.
Oh no,
But
I was in a Firkin once, and like this dude and his three like girls that were with him, they were friends, were like holding up a bathroom because they were snorting it off the back of a toilet. And I'm like, look, I gotta pee, and they're all just like, a minute. I'm like, no, no, this is not working for me. I was just really
Man,
annoyed.
sounds like a fun Thursday.
Right? God.
Coke in the bathroom. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, of a
You're,
Firkin.
yeah,
Like,
you're an adult. Like
oh,
what
they
the
were,
fuck?
to be honest, they were old enough to know better, but as a person who's my age, I'm like, you're a child.
Yeah, all right,
Like they
fair
were
enough.
maybe
But
like
still, old enough to be
24.
in the bar. Yeah, but
Yes.
like,
Yes.
I mean, actually,
Yes.
24, you're an adult. You're out of college for like a couple years.
Yeah.
Like you at least should be like, I think I'm an adult now. If you're doing coke off in a bathroom at a
With like your three
Firkin,
friends at a
yeah,
Birkin. Yeah.
at not even a good bar. Like it's not like you're at like the bowel, like you're not in like CBGB's in the 70s,
Yeah.
right? Like you're in a bar in the suburbs.
And it wasn't even one of the first, like, you know how the Firkins now are all getting like updated and stuff like that.
It
No,
wasn't even a nice
it
one.
wasn't even one of the nice ones. It was one of the really crappy ones. And
It's one
even
of the
I
ones
was
that
just
looks
like,
like it's made out of a pool table.
yeah. And you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, what are you doing? Oh my God. Uh
I
yeah.
was at a bar a couple weeks ago, which is funny. I don't drink. Um, so I was at a bar a couple weeks ago, and somebody came back, like, "Yeah, there's an old lady doing coke in the bathroom," and I'm like, "Oh my God!" I mean, at least this is like kind of a cool bar, but like, there's a rockabilly band kind of playing in the front room.
Hmm.
Like, come on, guys, let's just. And they're obviously 50.
Give
Like,
them
it's a
some.
rockabilly bar, the band that's like not young.
Yeah, they've been doing rockabilly since rockabilly was cool, and they've just continued, even though it's not that cool anymore. Even though it's
They
kind of fun to listen to sometimes. What can I say?
they were probably it was cool in the 90s because the 50s were cool in the 90s.
Yeah,
And
that
now they're
is
still
true.
doing it.
Yeah, they're like, no, we're sticking with it. We're gonna make it big one day. I'm like,
Yeah.
you've been here a while.
Oh,
Maybe you can give something else a shot.
all right. I have one last tiny thing for
Yeah.
this. I think it was on the way to that. I saw a greaser dude with it like with a full pompadour, but he had a huge bald spot on the back of his head. Like it
Oh,
was it was real rough. But it like really it was like, yep, that's the look.
that is the look.
Yep.
So before we forget,
Yeah.
so earlier you were saying something popped into your head
Oh,
while you're
yeah.
watching this, and it turned
Right.
out to be true.
So, during the special thanks during the credits,
Okay.
there is a special thanks to Bumble Ward, who is a publicist.
Okay.
And in An Evening with Kevin Smith, he uses that he talks about Bumble Ward. I think it's like as the assistant to the producer on the Superman movie that never got made that he
Okay.
wrote the treatment for.
Yeah.
And the punchline was, I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, there is a person on this planet named Bumble.
That's it. That's it. All of
He
it.
is yeah, no, that's it. I just remembered there's a person on this earth named Bumble. And it's the same Bumble because there can't be another person named Bumble Ward.
I
There
don't
is no
know.
way. But
There's
yeah, he's a publicist and I think was involved in the Kevin Smith Superman movie that never got made.
maybe
The one
he's
with the
maybe.
giant spider.
Oh God. Yeah. Maybe he's one of those people whose parents like let them pick their
Hates him.
name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Peekaboo Street. I always remember this. I don't know why. I'm not even that into skiing. She doesn't even ski anymore. But Peekaboo Street used to be a big skier, and they're like they finally asked her one day, like, where did your name come from? She's like, well, my parents were kind of hippies, and when I was like 2, they let me pick my own name, and I really liked playing peekaboo, so I said peekaboo, and that's what her name was.
Is it weird that I think that's a cool name?
Peekaboo Street. Yeah, I actually
I'm
think it's
kind
a
of
cool name
like
too.
Peekaboo sounds like a really cool name. Like if that's like, man, it sounds like a member of like a girl punk band.
Yeah, but it also doesn't sound like a real name. It sounds like
Yeah.
a name you would give yourself to sound cool.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like you peekaboo and then you pop a cap in them.
Right?
It's like peekaboo, pow, pow.
Yeah. Cool
Yeah.
gangster name.
That's right.
Peekaboo Smith.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah. No, Peekaboo Street. I don't even have to change it. Yeah. It's a cool
Yep.
gangster name. It's fine. Like Tongues Malone.
Tones Malone.
Apparently I'm really bad at gangster names. I have no idea. Oh, also Philip Seymour Hoffman on screen for like 6 minutes this whole movie. Fan fucking tastic.
Yeah, he's
Oh
great.
my god.
The scene where Barry like shows up in Idaho with the phone in his hand is great.
Yeah.
He still has because he just walked away from where he was with the phone in his
Mhm.
hand and
And
just has the phone.
I don't know why, but for some reason I thought he beat him with the phone. But when he walked out and he didn't actually hit him, I was like, wait, I thought he beat him with the phone. I
I
don't
had a
know.
memory of him kind of beating him up too. It's kind
Yeah.
of better that he didn't though.
Yeah, but especially when he's like, yeah, you better get out. What did I say? And he like runs away. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. No, he alphas him, which is the first time in the movie that he really gets the upper hand, right?
He
Like
does.
he's so meek and so like crumpled in
Mm-hmm.
everything else.
Yeah.
And in this moment, like he does the power of love speech, right? Like he does like a full thing, and he's the man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really does. And like you can clearly see like the difference in him and like how much better he's going to be from like that point on, I think, I hope at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the movie is kind of pointing to, at least, that he's like this force that's come into his life is healing to him, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like he becomes more honest. He's able to kind of open up a bit because he's very closed off, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
sort of the thing because he's embarrassed about showing any kind of emotions. So he's actually able to be open and tender with somebody else, which is big.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, my last note for this movie is weird, but it's sweet. That's
It's an odd movie.
mm,
But yeah, no, it is an odd, sweet little movie.
it
And I
really
and I
is.
really enjoyed watching it again. And I'm kind of upset that I hadn't watched it again more recently.
Yeah, I was kind of prepared to be disappointed by this movie, and I
Hmm.
don't know why. I think because I've watched Pulp Fiction so much, and like I just know what it is. So even despite picking up they say the N-word way too many times and too many people say it too flippantly, like that was literally the only thing that was like hitting me, but everything else was like I was prepared for this. But this movie I was just like, God, I hope you aged. Oh, you're aged bad, didn't you?
Yeah,
And then I watched it and I was just like, oh no, you're fine.
yeah,
Okay,
no, this aged
that's good.
like a fine
Yeah,
wine, aged
it
very
has.
well.
And even the like couple of offensive names his sisters
Yeah,
call him, you're like, it's they do it gratuitously to him, but it's not in the movie gratuitously, if you understand what I mean.
yeah, it was also much more common to use those types of
Mm-hmm.
of names at the time, and it's not shown as being like a funny thing that happened in the movie. It's
No,
something that's
no.
seen as like they're being assholes,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
like bothering him and needling him.
Yeah.
Just to touch back a little bit on the slur stuff from Pulp Fiction, I the N-word stuff I knew about. There was a lot of Asian slurs that were used that I did not pick up on previously.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Did I not pick up on that?
Um,
I don't think I picked
they're
up on that.
more obscure racial slurs. I
Mm,
think specifically for Korean people.
okay.
Although, like I said, if it's not a word that you know, you might not pick up on it, and I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
But it is a word that's not really used so much. But it is in the movie like 3 or 4 times. In
Oh,
the very beginning, actually,
I am
during
the
the
coffee shop?
yeah, pumpkin and honey bunny stuff. Like
Oh,
it's covered by the accent. You can't
okay.
I'm like, wait a minute, he just said, oh, because he's
Oh
like going on
God.
about all the different kinds of shop owners, right?
Yes.
That they knocked over, and he does not use flattering terms for them.
No, that part I know. But I'm trying to figure out which word specifically, because like he just kind of like describes them or whatever. But no.
There's also words for immigrants that are used, I think, by him as well. Yeah, though there's a lot of those like very racially insensitive words. But I mean, within the movie, everyone's such a fucking scumbag in that movie. So
yeah, so I think maybe that's why it's not surprising.
Yeah.
But I
it
think
does hit your ear wrong though. Like when you're watching these movies, it does not feel quite earned.
No, it really doesn't. And I think that's the biggest problem with it, because like the part after Marcellus like shoots that guy and he's talking about like the black guys that are going to get medieval on his ass, and he uses the word there, you're just like, that is an earned one. That is we know
Sam
what
Jackson and Marcellus saying it
perfectly
totally
fine.
Works.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that works within like that has a proper flow to it and it doesn't like hit.
Yeah.
But some of the other ones hit.
Yeah, there's a few of them in there you're just like, and completely unnecessary. Yeah. So but yeah, I mean, I think to be honest, like when they were using the slurs in Punch-Drunk Love as well, it hit me pretty hard in there as well, even though at the time when I would have watched this, I would have been like, meh, but they're being assholes anyways. But now you're just like, nah, now you're really being
it hits you wrong.
It hits you wrong.
Because it's not used as an insult anymore.
No.
And rightfully so, I will say. But it is something that, like, I mean, it also was describing something that had happened years before the movie. So, like, especially in the 80s and 90s, that would probably actually be a pretty tender term for a
pretty common saying. Yeah.
Well, a pretty common saying, but also like probably the light version of a slur for for that type of person. Like again, not defending in any way, but you know.
But also didn't that used to be a name of like a lord in like England or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a Gaylord is a name.
Yes.
But they were calling him Gay Boy, right? Wasn't that the?
No, I think it was. Oh, maybe it was.
I thought it was Gay Boy. They kept calling him.
Okay. Yeah, no, I thought it was Gaylord. Okay.
Yeah. But fine. I mean, Gaylord Fokker is Ben Stiller's character in Meet the Fockers, right? So like it's a name that people use, but it also is a I don't know if that counts as a slur. I guess it does.
That was a pretty regular one on the elementary school playground.
I
remember that. Yeah.
No, I mean, but like, is it? I didn't know that it was like more profane than just calling somebody gay. Like, I didn't know that there was like a slurry lilt to it. I thought that was just like another word for a gay person. I don't know.
They're also just terms I just don't really use anymore.
Yeah. Oh, so no, 100%.
Maybe that's the reason why. Like even gay, I use very rarely, and it's usually to describe something very specific and not in like a I'm making fun of you way either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the context of it, right? So they're using it as an insult. But like,
and I think that's why
that's what's wrong. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, and like referring to like using it as an adjective would be incorrect.
Correct.
But use it. I didn't. Yeah, I'm only talking about noun use. So
exactly.
But yeah.
So, you know, do you have any more notes for Punch-Drunk
Love?
No,
I would say that if anyone hasn't seen it, they really should. It's a very sweet little movie. I like it more than a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson movies. I'm not actually the hugest PTA person. There's only like a couple of his movies that I like really love.
Well, the funny thing is, I was looking up his movies the other day, and I used to really like Magnolia, but then when I rewatched it for this, I was just like, no, that's really choppy.
Yeah.
But I've actually seen most of his filmography recently has just been Haim videos for some reason.
He hangs out with Haim.
He does. But like people love Inherent Vice. I hate that movie.
Oh, I loved Inherent Vice. That's one of the ones I love.
I liked Phantom Thread. I can't say I hated it, but I didn't finish watching it because I was hating what I was looking at when I saw There Will Be Blood.
That's the other one I love.
You love, yeah. Most people like it, and I'm like, I can't finish it, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Ending's pretty bonkers. It's good though.
Yeah. Boogie Nights. Also, I saw way too young.
I saw that one when I was around the same age where I'm seeing all this stuff. Yep.
Yeah. Saw that way too young. My friends, it was the same usual thing where, it was like summer, and me and my friends, were over at my friend's place because she has air conditioning, and we took a walk over to the video store, Ambassador Video, and we're just like, oh, let's get this one. They're like, I hear there's a penis in it.
It's a big penis.
And then we took and watched it. And then we watched it, and we're just like, I think we're scarred now.
Yeah. I don't love that one as much as everyone else. That's very much a film bro movie.
I don't think, but I do like it more than like the other movies. But it's a movie that I think it's just very dark and unpleasant. Like the whole thing is just it's an unpleasant experience. Disguised. It's not even disguised really, but it's in this space where it's supposed to be fun and awesome. And I think you see that's like I guess that's what like Dirk Diggler's character is. Like he gets in there because he's like, I'm gonna be fucking all day and making money. This is gonna be amazing. And then it's not.
Yeah.
And it's like you're meant to feel that way. But it's just grimy and horrible, and I've only seen this movie twice.
Another one that's grunt. It makes you feel gross. It's all the cocaine stuff and like all that stuff. Once they get like, and once they're hitting hard times, even like Roller Girl and stuff, you just feel sad for her the whole movie. And she's in high school in that movie, isn't she?
Yeah. It's just
it's a bummer. It's a bummer of a movie. It's also very straightforward. Like it's a very conventional movie. And like when he's a little bit weirder, I like him. Like when Paul Thomas Anderson's doing something a little bit like more abstract or more open to interpretation, that's when I'm like on board. He also did The Master, which I liked the second time I saw it. I didn't really love it so much the first time.
Master? Which one's The Master?
That's the one that's not about Scientology. For legal reasons.
That is not about Scientology.
It's Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix with I think Amy.
It's Amy Adams, yeah. No, I haven't seen this one.
Weird movie. Took me a couple times though.
Oh, to get through it?
No, to understand it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, that seems to be. I don't know what Jun is. Jun Nun.
Oh, I saw that.
Okay. You are a film person.
Hold on. I could do something else here.
Oh, it's a documentary.
Oh. Can I see that? No, hold on. Let me get my background here.
Wait, are you saying you own this movie?
I own the album that they're making in the movie.
Oh my God.
It's so it's
why does the cover look like Sgt. Pepper essentially?
So it's what it is Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead goes to like India and meets up with all these, and like with Shai Ben Zur, they like build this like band of like traditional like Indian like musicians, and they like make an album together. With all this like traditional like folk stuff, and they do it like up in the mountains, and Paul Thomas Anderson made the like documentary about it. And I saw that at TIFF with the band like present.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it was cool. Then I saw Radiohead the next day and I was over the moon.
Yeah, I haven't been able to see Radiohead. Like I have a friend who loves them, and the last time they were here, I think they played Toronto like 3 nights in a row. And she bought tickets for all 3 nights.
Yeah,
and
they did different sets.
Yeah, and she was like, the first night, like, that's the best concert I've ever seen. The next day, she was like, I'm going to tell you this. I thought the first night was the best concert I've ever seen, but oh my God. And then she went and watched the third night, and she was like, I don't know how they do this. Like, no, that That was the best concert I've ever seen. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm mad I only went the first night.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were going to do different sets.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was talking
Took
about
me
concert.
15 years to go see them. So
Yeah, they're definitely a band I would like to see in person. This year, I'm getting to see somebody who I never thought I'd get to see in person, which is Beck, which I know
oh,
it
cool.
seems like a weird thing, but I don't know. Like I've either always missed his concerts in Toronto or they've just been too expensive, one or the other. But no, this year I can afford it. Got tickets going. I'm very, very excited about this.
That's cool.
So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Now I've been to a few. I got to see that same year I saw Radiohead. I got to see the 1999 Smashing Pumpkins, which I was pretty excited about
Mm-hmm.
because they were just doing shows from the year 2000 and before. Like they
Oh
were just doing
wow,
songs
okay.
from like there's like nothing before 2000, and I'm like, here's my money. No
It's
new
true.
garbage,
Well,
just the old stuff.
I find this is the problem is like even if you love an artist or a band or whatever, as their their discography gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you hear less of the classics, and you're just like, I just want to hear this one song from your first album, and then they just never play it.
Yeah.
You're just like, please, I need this. So that is a good idea. That is a
Yeah.
good idea.
No, it's I mean it's an old joke. That like this next one's a new song, and you go, well, time to pee.
It's true. Everybody clears out.
Yeah. Oh, time to get some more popcorn.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I have a fear that's going to happen with Beck because I actually hadn't listened to his last album as yet. And I feel like it's going to be 90% the last album. I'm like, I need to get on to listening to that at least.
I think there's going to be quite a bit of Odelay. That would be my guess because that was like his big one. He'll do Loser as like an encore because that was like a huge song.
Yeah.
He better do Devil's Haircut. If he doesn't do Devil's Haircut, you need to get your money back if he doesn't do Devil's Haircut.
Actually, I really like the whole album, Midnight Vultures. I love that whole album.
Yeah. Midnight Vultures is a good weird one.
That one. And surprisingly, Colors, which came out, 6 or 7 years ago? I love that album. I think that album is amazing. And
Sea Change is great. I mean, I would pay $200 to see him just do Sea Change in its entirety.
Yeah, I just love his stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that like every album is very different, but it's all very Beck. I'm just like, great.
I would say he'll probably do he's got to do at least a couple from Odelay.
Yeah, he's got to. People will just walk out if you don't. Like you got to do this. Come on.
Yeah.
So we're on tangents again. So
yes. No, we were so on topic the whole time.
So on topic. Yes.
The first time we've done. I have like no notes for Punch-Drunk Love because I was just like really into it. It's a quiet little movie, and I just sort of sunk into it like a comfy couch.
So did I. Yeah, because I found too, because it was so quiet, you were forced to pay more attention to it, to just be like, I need to see what's happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just really liked it.
Yeah, it's good. I like serious Sandler. Like he's great in this. He's great. Actually, he's really great in this. Like there's a couple moments where like his voice breaks as if he's about to cry and it doesn't cry. It's just like a very like a little tiny little lilt, and it's so nice. Like it's perfect. Like he just breaks on a high note and it's great. And he's also really good in Uncut Gems.
I have not watched that movie.
It is the most uncomfortable 2 hours you're ever gonna have.
And that is why I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it is so uncomfortable and so tense.
Well,
it's a magic trick though.
That's the thing. People are just like, no, you're going to be uncomfortable for 2 hours. I'm like, but why would I want to put myself through that? I don't care how good it is. Why would I want to be uncomfortable for 2 hours straight? That seems crazy to me.
At the end, you're tired. Like you're just like, you feel like you were just in it. It's the same thing I was talking about. It's like, I don't even know really why it makes you so uncomfortable and so nervous the whole time. Like I know it's because you're watching somebody making bad decisions. Like that's part of it, but like it shouldn't be that intense and that sustained. Like I've never seen anyone sustain tension that long.
That much? Okay. Yeah. No, it's literally on my list to watch, but the only way people describe it is like it's tense for 2 hours straight. You're gonna be uncomfortable. I'm like, why? I don't. This is not making me want to put it at the top of my list. Like,
It would
no.
sort of be like if the first like 20 minutes of this movie was 2 hours long.
Yeah, see, that's a lot. That
Yeah,
is a
it's a lot.
lot.
It is. It's
I
cool
don't know.
though.
I was really hoping you were gonna say something like funny people.
That movie is so long.
But I really like that movie, and nobody likes that movie. I
Um,
enjoy, but it's. I mean, I know Adam Sandler's in it, but it's really more Seth Rogen. But at the
yeah.
same time, I really like that movie.
What's funny about that movie is that like half the movie's just making fun of the shitty movies that Adam Sandler made. And then like and we're all like, oh, he's in on the joke. I guess he's like beyond that now. He's gonna make serious movies. And the next movie he made is like Grown Ups 2. We're like, oh man, you faked us out.
Yeah, he wasn't getting away from that stuff.
What
I
can I
actually
film
think.
in Hawaii next week?
Oh my god. What was the last? Blended was the last one he did. Oh. I
No,
mean,
I think
I
he did
think.
the Halloween 2. I think he did like a Herbie Halloween 2. Like he makes like Netflix stuff.
Yeah, I know. And didn't he make that weird Western thing or
Oh,
something?
oh, I don't even remember that.
God.
Who did Kevin James play in that one?
I don't know, a sheriff on a Segway? Like I have no idea.
Oh my God, if they made a Western and Kevin James played a sheriff and he had a Segway that was dressed up as a horse and nobody ever mentioned it, it would be an incredible joke.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, a Hoobie Halloween? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Wait, it's
Yeah,
called
no.
Hoobie
Yeah.
Halloween? I thought it was Herbie.
No, it's Hubie.
Ugh. It sounds like the things that people make fun of Adam Sandler for doing. Like he goes, "Haba
Yeah.
shabba do ba." Like he's like,
Yeah, and
someone's doing a bad impression.
his name in it is Hoopy Dubois.
Yeah, that sounds like who Adam Sandler should be. Hubie Dubois. That sounds like a perfect name for an Adam Sandler character.
I'm trying to think of what movie. Okay, maybe it wasn't his movie that was like the Western one. There was some movie that they're like, this is the worst movie ever made.
Oh, is it A Thousand Ways to Die in the West starring
No, that's Seth
Seth
MacFarlane.
MacFarlane?
Not MacFarlane.
Yeah.
No, it's a Seth. No, yeah, it is Seth MacFarlane, right?
Brian the Dog, starring Brian the Dog.
The thing is, that guy has a punchable face, but he does things well. I don't know.
Do you think that's how he got his teeth?
Probably. He probably
That he
got,
had such a punchable face that somebody punched out all his teeth.
and
So
he
he had
had
to
like
get
giant chiclet caps on there. Oh my god,
and
I
they're like,
forgot.
we only have this ventriloquism dummy around. Let's give him his teeth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I forgot he did Jack and Jill. Ugh.
That, however, has that Dunkachino bit in it, which is
Oh,
great.
I didn't watch the whole thing. Don't know. I
Oh,
don't
just
know.
watch No, don't just Google Al Pacino Jack and Jill because he does a commercial for Dunkin' Donuts in that movie that is absolutely perfect. It's so
Okay.
funny.
I will have to have a look at it then.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. My favorite Adam Sandler movie is actually The Wedding Singer. I fucking love that movie.
And yeah, that's a great one. Happy Gilmore. I enjoyed that one a lot.
That's a little too silly for me. It's also
It's
aged not well, just
oh
like The
yeah.
Water Boy.
Yeah,
Ooh.
no, that one has also not aged well. I'm sure
Yeah.
is there a lot of R words in that one? I'm guessing so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there are. Yes.
Yeah, that's not aged well either.
No,
But it is
not at
something that
all.
like I was 8, whatever, when it came out.
Yes.
So like that one was funny to me. I've heard good things about Little Nicky. I've heard that one. People really like that one, even though
It
it
is.
bombed at the time.
Oh, it's not a like good movie.
Yeah.
No. But there are amusing. I did not enjoy it the way other people enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people really think
You
it's
mean this
great.
voice didn't really make you laugh the whole time?
It really did not.
This for
No.
2 hours didn't grate on you?
Why are you doing this to me? This is unpleasant.
I'm
I
just doing
don't like
fun
it.
voices for this episode.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll remember that. Thank you. Um, again, we're off topic again. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I got to do a voice. We were talking about Adam Sandler movies. That's sort of
that
in there.
totally counts. Yeah, I guess that's in there.
in there.
Okay, we're on topic.
Little Nicky, Punch-Drunk Love, same movie.
Same thing. Totally the same thing. Yes. Spanglish, get that in there. When the daughter cries at the end about Lost, and I was like, what? Oh, is that Spanglish or is it that This Is 40? Oh no, one of the movies that the kids watch the whole movie the kid is watching Lost on like a tablet. And at the end of the movie she's like crying about it.
I think Spanglish would be too early for a tablet.
Maybe.
So it might have been This Is 40. That seems more time appropriate.
Yeah.
Another 2.5 hour long comedy movie.
Yeah. Some of those Apatow movies, I'm just like, there are funny parts in it, yes, but these are dramas that break your heart. Why are you doing this?
By the way, thank you so much to Paul Thomas Anderson for making this movie like 92 minutes long.
Oh,
like it's such a quick watch. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Like I know you don't stay under 2 hours ever again, I don't think. But good on you. You made a good in and out. Like I really appreciate when someone's not.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna make it 2.5 hours long.
He put little interludes in it, as transitions and stuff. You're just like, oh, look at this nice little.
It's nice and breezy.
Ooh. It is. Yeah, they don't make short movies anymore, but I don't mind a long movie as long as they don't waste my time. And I find a lot of movies now as they're made long just to be long.
Yeah.
And I'm just, you don't need all of this. Just cut this, cut that. I could be a better editor. Like, let's go.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I sort of by trade am an editor in a way. Mm-hmm. I get frustrated with things being too long all the time. One of the telltale signs that I don't like in movies is me hitting my head against the back of the chair because there's no reason for this to be happening.
Why is this still going on?
Yeah. No, why is this still happening is a common complaint I have.
Yeah. So my question for you is, so you don't get that when you watch Pulp Fiction, even though Pulp Fiction is like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction's kind of a different animal.
Yeah.
That movie, I think one of the reasons I like it so much is because it's perplexing to me. Like, because I don't really understand why it works. Because it, like, if you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, it's just kind of scrambled in like a weird way. Like, there's no real reason for things to be in the order that they are, but they are that way.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't work if they weren't. Like if you rearrange, it would completely be wrong. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why that is. I think probably because Pulp Fiction's kind of an anthology, so I think it kind of gets around the 2.5 hour thing pretty easily because it's so broken up into stages.
Yeah, because it's instead of like 2.5 hour movie, it's like 5 30-minute things.
Yeah. It's a little more digestible. And even within those little chunks, there's like monologues and things that are like, that's taking up time. So like the hiding the watch up his ass speech, like that takes up a lot of time and it doesn't really add to it. Like you could take that out and it doesn't really mean too much, but I don't want to do that. But
I also think it does because this tells you why Butch is so angry and so obsessed with getting his father's watch. I think it's necessary.
But if he got really mad and says, it's my father's watch, how could you couldn't know what he went through to get that to me? That would give us probably enough to go on that we wouldn't be like, why is this watch so important? If you say it's my grandfather's watch from the war, that's all you need to know. But like it makes it better. Mm-hmm. Like it enhances it. But if you're wanting to make this movie short, that cuts right out and it doesn't really take anything away.
But I wouldn't. True. Correct. Yes. But I would not. That's like cutting one of the best things about the movie.
Exactly. So like it like, and same with like the Royale with cheese talk. That doesn't need to be in there.
Yeah.
Like that's not adding to the plot in any way. It kind of weaves a tapestry, right? Like that's sort of Yeah, it's a weird movie that I don't quite understand why I like it so much, but I think that's why I like it so much, because it's needling me to not like it.
Oh, I did have one more question about Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So how long is this story in Pulp Fiction? Like,
Yeah,
do you
that's a
think
fun
it's
one.
like 3 days, a week, a month, a day and a half? Like,
Okay, so there's 4 days that we see, right?
I don't think
So
there's
there are,
4
I think there's
days.
4 story days. One is Jules and Vincent
That
going, and that goes from the morning that they go into the place up to um the diner.
Yeah, and
That's one day.
that's like 3 hours.
That's 3 hours. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's one morning.
yeah.
I suppose like you could make the argument, does when does the Mia Vincent date happen? Is that
That night.
a couple? It's that night. So that's the
It's that
same day.
night.
So
That's
it's
the
only
same
three
day.
days.
Okay, but where are you getting the other 2 days? Because isn't
Is
the
the fight
Butch?
at Butch fight?
But
Is like a
isn't
week later or whatever.
is it a week later? Because I thought that's where Marcellus. Oh no, because she's there. No, never
She's there.
mind.
Yeah. So
So
it has to be a
it's like
different
a
day.
week or like
It
a
could be like an unknown amount of days later.
okay.
And then the next day with Zed and yeah, so like that the fight is the
Next morning.
night, and then the next day is the other stuff.
Okay, so
So I guess
3
we're
days.
only seeing 3 days.
So
Yeah,
we're seeing 3 days, but the timeline is maybe like a week.
maybe. Yeah, I mean, like
Okay.
we see the same day as the Jules and Vincent stuff is when he tells him to go down in the fifth
Yes.
because he's Butch is at the thing and Vincent's wearing the UC Santa Barbara banana slugs
T-shirt.
shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that
Yes.
shirt so bad.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the same day. But yeah, I don't know if we know exactly when the fight is in relation to that.
All right. I guess that
I
makes
didn't know
sense.
that the date is the same day
Yeah. Well, because
as and he had a very
because
busy day.
yeah, because that's what he kept going on about, and that's why he brought it up. He's got to take her out that evening or whatever.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was the same day.
Okay.
I'm like
I don't have any
90.
reason to say no.
I'm like 95% sure it was the same day. And I bet you when I'm editing this, I'm gonna start Googling and be like, oh shit, it was a month and a half later.
I think it would have been like maybe the next day or the day before, like the day after that or whatever. Like I
Yeah.
just in my head, the canon is like, oh, he's just worried about having to do this when Marcellus goes out of town. Like that's
Yes.
in my head, that's my head canon for it. But you definitely could be right. I don't have any reason to doubt it.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. That was the only thing. And
Yeah.
Punch Drunk Love takes place over what, like, again, like a, a week and a half?
Yeah, it must be something like that. Cause like I mean he flies to Hawaii and like has to at least spend the day there and like
And
I
then fly
doubt it
back.
would be the next day that he flies out. He also flies to Idaho, but that's the same day
Yeah, that one's the same day.
because he has the phone in his hand still.
Yeah. But wait, do you think he flew there?
I would
Because
assume
where
that's what
are
he used his miles for, but I guess that
yeah.
would be it would
No,
be
but
funny if it's
he wouldn't have
because it
gotten
would
his
have to be
miles
six to
yet.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. But it makes
Oh, he was
sense.
driving her home from Hawaii when they got in the wreck too, right? So that would be like the next day.
No, they were. Oh yes, it wasn't after the date, right?
Right. It was after Hawaii.
Oh, it was after Hawaii. That's correct. Yeah.
Because he calls Philip Seymour Hoffman from the phone booth in Hawaii. Oh my God, that was so sad and pathetic and great. Just him in a phone booth on vacation trying to convince the phone sex guy that's like harassing him to leave him alone. Like how
Yeah.
sad and beautiful is that?
I mean, it shows that he has guts because there's a
Yeah,
lot of people who would be like, I'm never picking up a phone ever again in case this
right.
guy calls me. Where he was just like, no, I'm going to make the call. I'm going to tell you not to bother me. You're not getting anything from me anymore. Gonna
Yeah.
go. Done. Yes. So, yeah, it's good.
I mean these movies I think of the pairs that we've watched, I think these movies are the best ones for me personally. I love
Wait,
both these movies.
like thematically or just movies as they are the best movies?
Well, you know what? Kind of both. They're
Mhm.
both kind of like interesting Los Angeles movies.
Yeah.
Like they both kind of show a distorted Los Angeles in very different ways, but also both equally like tension filled and horrible.
Yeah, like they don't make Los Angeles seem very beautiful or glamorous
It's
or anything.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
gross, it's grimy, it's, you know.
sordid. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I really liked watching both of these movies. They kind of they really did kind of go together, even though they're very different.
Yeah.
So, yay for alphabets.
Yay! I honestly was just like, oh yeah, they're both PU movies. That's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
That's it. That's literally why they ended up together, and that's
yeah,
pretty great,
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
was pretty excited when you told me that those were up for grabs, and I was like, sweet. That sounds
Yeah.
like something I can dork out to.
It seemed about right.
Yep.
What can I say? Unlike when I did Pretty in Pink and Predator. Yeah, getting that segue was hard.
I mean,
That
you
was
got to
a hard
make that one movie,
one. You do.
the Pretty in Pink Predator.
Right? I know
Yeah,
it'd be amazing. They'd be getting
yeah,
ready for the prom, and you hear that like the ticking sound, and
yeah.
somebody get like shot and disemboweled suddenly, but it'd be covered in glitter somehow. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
Ducky's still tripping people in the woods. Because he's the worst.
Ducky
Anyway.
sucks.
Well, Josh, I feel like that's a good place to end.
Yeah, short and sweet this time.
Short and sweet. Thank you so much for having this great discussion with me again. That we're gonna make our listeners go crazy too. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm glad you edit these down from the usual 5.5 hours that we talked down to a manageable 3.5. So
Right? That you can. It's shorter than both of these movies together.
that's true.
It's more than enough. We're good.
I'm glad to do it. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching both of these again, actually. So I was pretty pumped to do it, and it was fun. I'm hoping to do it again sometime.
Yeah. Not talk about these. We'll talk about other things, but it'll be fun.
Oh, I'll end up talking about these anyway. I always do.
Remember that time we talked about these movies? I have 35 more things to say.
So the foot shot in this one kind of reminds me. See, and that's another fun voice. I can add that to the
your repertoire.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. On the next episode, we will talk about the movies Punisher and Red. Hope you'll be here to listen.